is.
No, I
There
didn't take my hat off. Is what I need to do,
That
but
big
I
10
forgot it was
gallon
on.
you're working.
Yeah, I kind of forgot it was on there for a second, and so I was trying to put my headphones on.
I walked in today, and I didn't know if you were Hal Sutton at the Ryder Cup
right.
that year. He worked the cowboy hat look. Big Hoss Cartwright. You look like T. Boone Pickens running Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Very distinguished look.
Thank you.
And you did, with that look, the Dallas Cowboys team doctor. Do you
Yes.
notice him on the sidelines?
Oh, all the time.
Always in that. Now, that's a Stetson, not a 10-gallon.
Right.
And always looks, very distinguished, but yet Texas.
Yes.
Very Texas.
Very much.
That's how you look today.
Oh, thank you.
Great look.
Thank you. I like the look. I had to rock it today. My Halloween outfit for this year of a cowboy. So a lot of fun.
You're going out like that tonight?
I don't think I'm really necessarily going out. I think I'm just going to my
the
buddy's
bolo
house.
tie.
Yeah,
Very
so
nice.
we got a little bit of everything today, but I like the look, so I just decided to wear it for Halloween.
We got to work on the footwear.
Yeah, I don't own any boots,
We
so
gotta
we
get
just
Hewlett
had
done and get
to.
some.
We do. I do. I just haven't had time to get over there, but I need to and get me a pair of boots because I don't own any, and that caused
the
a
only
problem
thing lacking.
over the weekend when I was going
the
to
wingtip
places.
Florshams.
Yes. These are my dress shoes
got
that I'm
you.
wearing today. But they kind of do the job. But yeah, you're right. I got to get over to
Looking
Hewlett
good
and
though,
Dunn.
ain't he, Johnny?
And Johnny's a big fan of the look.
I think Johnny
so.
would. I don't think Johnny knew who you were when he came in.
No, maybe not. I don't know, but maybe that's a good thing. But
Really good look. Look at this NFL trade deadline. What are we doing here?
it's
Bears
heating
are
up.
adding. Somebody need to tell the Bears where they stand.
Hey, Bears, the wrong time to add. But no, I mean, I guess playing for the future.
Look
And
what the 49ers have
Yeah.
done with Chase Young.
yeah, that's a huge addition, Brett. Oh,
No
man.
kidding.
I mean, that's terrifying.
And most of this is far picks, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. All of them.
Are
all
you
the
gonna
trades
get a
today have
pick
been-
better than Chase Young in the next 3 years?
No chance. And I think it was a second-round pick. Are you going to get a second-round pick better than what Chase Young's giving you?
I read a story in the Washington Post that they're all in Washington for Jim Harbaugh.
Really?
They want him bad,
Wow.
whatever it takes.
I don't like that. I don't want him in my division.
I don't blame you.
But hey, I could see it happening. I mean, I think, especially, I don't know, Brett, if you've seen now the new rumors about this whole Michigan saga.
I am seeing
and Connor Stallings, but
and it's certainly a new layer. And,
sure,
and
sure,
I reserve
absolutely.
the right to change my
100%.
opinion as the facts develop.
Absolutely.
And I think very early on, I even said if he's caught surreptitiously dressed
Yes.
as opposing or whatever.
No, you definitely said that. I remember,
I know I did. Then I reserve the right to
100%.
change my opinion. And now that they've got him nailed
Yeah.
on the sideline in Central Michigan gear. That's a move, isn't it?
That's a move, and people have traced it down that he's friends or has a relationship with several of these assistant coaches. But with that being said, I think Jim Harbaugh, day after Michigan either wins a national championship, wins a bowl game, or loses their last game of the season, Jim Harbaugh is hopping on a jet and flying to whichever NFL team offers him the best contract.
I think so too.
Because I don't.
But Michigan's going to play late.
Oh yeah, very late, and I'm excited. Tonight we'll get the college football playoff, the first
Outrage
rankings.
night.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of my least favorite things to watch because I know what's coming on social media, on TV, on everywhere.
Don't you
It's
think
going to be
there's just a lot of
overreactions.
people that want to be mad?
Oh, everybody's just looking for something to be mad at every day, and so I mean, this is a great opportunity for it. And think about this: I saw, I think it was Brett McMurphy. Said that I guess he's talked to people, not
sources
in the room because they never say anything.
Because only Heather Dinich talks to them.
That's right. But he has talked to people close to people, I guess, that have said there is a real possibility that Georgia is not number one in the college football playoff ranking. Exactly. But there's going to be outrage about that. Tomorrow if they're not number one.
But should it be?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Well, Brett, you're talking to the guy that's been saying Ohio State should be ranked number one for 2 weeks now.
And you've won me to that.
Yeah.
For tonight's ranking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we're ranking tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, well, what have you done? I mean, and that's what it's for. But,
I'm in a time war.
And Brett, we were just talking, yesterday about how there's about 8 to 11 teams, maybe 8 to 12 teams that could make the college football playoff. So there's going to be 7, 8 teams that are not in the top 4, and those fans are going to be outraged. And so I'm curious to see who's number 5, who's number 6, right outside, and they're going to be the most mad. It's going to be a great night, Brett. And then we got Maction right after that.
We got Maction. We got the World Series. We got the NBA. We got a lot tonight. Last night was good. Last night was great.
Yeah.
But I don't get – I know from the PR front, from kind of the publicizing it front, I know why they do it. But college football TV ratings are just fine.
Just fine.
Interest in college football is fine. I think at least a week. Now, this time next year, you almost could move up a week.
Sure. Absolutely.
To last week to just see where everybody stands.
Oh, 100%.
But we also know it's all really meaningless.
Yes.
With the lion's share, the most important time of the year, starting this weekend.
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
Remember what you do in November. And somebody, I used the AP poll yesterday, but somebody looks really good right now. They may not scratch in November like Ole Miss did last year.
Right.
I don't think Ole Miss goes over November this year, largely because of the Louisiana-Monroe game. But the other 3 sure could be won and sure could be lost.
Absolutely.
Your biggest rival at Georgia and Texas A&M.
Yeah, and I mean,
that could change in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and your go-to to anything college football, rankings, anything related, all of this will play out. And so that's why on October 31st, I really don't care what the rankings look like tonight. I mean, I'll look at them. I probably won't watch the show. There's other things I can watch during that 30 minutes. But
I probably will,
yeah.
But not going to be too exercised over it. I think a lot of people do like to get mad.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something to react to. Everybody wants to react to something and have their take, and we're in the business of giving takes, but I think that's just something that just doesn't need – I mean, there's other things you can spend your time on talking about that I think are more important than an October 31st college football playoff rankings.
I know David Cobb is with us every Monday. I know he's with John Harden every Tuesday. And it is, and it should be, for our listeners, appointment radio on both dates because he's so good in both hits. Yes. And with us and what he does and what he's done in his career. And yesterday he was so right about the almost – anteing up to kind of out there in college football. And then here comes Dabo Swinney last night off the top rope. Have you listened to it in its entirety?
Brett, I loved it.
All right. And I'm not trying to be that guy. I promise you, I could make a case of I agreed with every single syllable.
Oh, yeah.
I could make a case it needed to be said.
Sure.
I could make a case a lot of others should do that.
Sure.
Maybe one coach here in Memphis could do that. Maybe some others. Also could make a strong argument of everything you said needed to be said. I'm sure it made you feel better. You cannot do that.
I somewhat agree with that.
You cannot do that. And I think the most off-putting part of it, so much of it I love.
Sure.
But I thought the part that was the worst is when he did the affectation on the man, the youngster, whoever it was. We don't know who the caller Tyler was or is. Don't even know if it's his name.
Yeah, really.
I bet it probably was, though. And he sounded younger. But don't stereotype because you don't know. You may not be able to discern male, female, ethnicity, gender, age. Better be careful with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, but when he had the affectation, and he went, and I'm only imitating Tyler.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That to me, Brian, man, that flew in my face because that was his equivalent of. You don't dare question me.
Right.
I'm me and you're you.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on,
no,
Dabo.
I get that.
And I know the Dabo Swinney story as well as anybody around.
Absolutely.
I can remember when he was the 9th receiver walk-on at Alabama, trying to get on special teams, and did, and was the wedge buster. Great guy, tough guy. One of his really good friends was a teammate, a man now, Kevin Donnelly from Memphis. I'm sorry, Chris Donnelly from Memphis, who had transferred to Bama from Vanderbilt, and is an exceptional person. He ran with Kevin Turner in those years. He ran with Jay Barker and a crew in those years. John Stevenson was from Memphis. Good crew. Danny Davis was from Memphis. Good crew.
Yeah.
I knew of and knew a little bit a lot of that crew. Loved the Dabo story. He was the lowest ranking GA on Gene Stallings' staff.
Right.
The first time I ever met him was a Friday night in '93 before an Arkansas-Alabama game in Tuscaloosa, and he was the lowest-ranking GA in the building.
Right.
I don't know what he was making. I'm not going to scoff at. Look, people work. Whatever you make, you make. You're working.
Sure, absolutely.
But not anything like what he's making at Clemson.
Not anywhere close.
And he's earned every single dime of it at Clemson. And his job that night, I don't say any of this to be disrespectful, I just want to paint the picture for the listener. Very famous Alabama booster at that time from Memphis, the late Logan Young, who was later embroiled in a lot of NCAA issues. And that night, Dabo Swinney was his driver. He had Logan duty that Friday night. I think people mostly know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And I met him that night, followed his career. Gene Stallings loved him like a grandson. He's made it. But to talk to that caller like that of I'm me and you're you, it sounds like too much of that bunch in D.C. Now, the difference there is that's taxpayer money.
Sure. The
difference at Clemson, for anybody listening or talking or calling in to any of those talk shows, you may think, now I'm taking Dabo Swinney's side.
I love it.
You may think, well, I pay your salary. No, you don't.
Right.
No, you don't. There's about 10 to 20 people cutting the check at Clemson that pays Dabo Swinney. You don't. When ticket prices go up, that's not going to Dabo. It's still that same 10 to 20 that are floating the note. Same at all the other places. You can get as mad at Ryan Silverfield as you want, and I'm not going to go. I'm not going to attend. I'm going to cut out my season tickets. That's not what's paying him.
No.
There's same number of prominent boosters here that are floating the note for him. So I just took both sides of it.
I like it. That's how it's done, Brett.
But I can see why he would do that. And when he went through that whole retinue, that whole litany, that whole bullet point of what he's accomplished, you got to remember at Clemson that after Danny Ford, and I'm sorry to say that includes my friend Tommy West, includes somebody that I think a lot of in Ken Hatfield. Mostly don't know at all, but mostly like what I've always been told and heard about Tommy Bowden.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't win jack.
No, not at all.
From Danny Ford to Dabo Swinney, Clemson was rice.
Yeah.
So Dabo's he's right about that. And for as good as it feels, and I've been there, that letter, that call, that comeback that makes you feel so good. You win that moment.
Sure.
But in the end, it shouldn't be done.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, it seemed like that was just the moment where this whole season just kind of boiled over for Dabo because Tyler, who called in, I mean, he was just giving it to Dabo. I mean, was trying to touch on everything. I mean, you could tell that
There's even the rumor out there now that he's not really a Clemson fan. It might be a South Carolina plant.
Wouldn't be surprised. Because, I mean, he came in,
in,
had all of these numbers. You're making this and this and that, and this is who's on your staff and that. Quoting Bible verses about you're too prideful. I mean, was coming at him hard.
Going in deep.
And I think for Dabo this entire season, I mean, I go back to what he said earlier in the season about the fan base isn't satisfied unless we're undefeated and going to go to the national championship. And so I think he's heard it a lot this season about how poor they're performing.
And he's been running hot all year.
And I think when this caller, whoever it was, fan or not, Tyler or not, started not only criticizing him, but also criticizing him as a person, is when it all boiled over for him, and Dabo had enough. But I do remember, I'd kind of forgotten about the point you're talking about. But you're absolutely right. I wasn't a fan of that when I first listened to it. But I'd have to say I'm more on Dabo's side in terms of that encounter. I think that I heard, me and John were talking about it, and John, man, I know he said he sounded like a teenager. From me listening to it, it sounded like Tyler was like a 35-year-old man. I mean, I thought he was kind of in his 30s-ish.
Yeah, I'm not great at that.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell, but I think he was older than like a teenager, it seemed like to me, especially how prepared he came. This sounds like a guy.
Of course, in college football, we think now it's a plant.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really a South Carolina fan.
But, you know, Brett, this is, for me, I used to work for Go Tigers 247, and so obviously a big part of Memphis fans, great on those message boards, are always fun, great time. Sometimes they get mad, whatever. But being an employee there, I had access to every message board across the country. I could go and look at what Clemson fans are saying on their message board, what Ole Miss fans are saying on their message boards, Alabama, all over the country. And it really seemed to me, based on what I've seen on message boards, it seems like he was just like the epicenter of the Clemson message board and how toxic those message boards can get.
And it's why I've never been to a single
They're
one
awful.
in my life.
They're awful, Brett,
Not
for the most
one,
part.
Ever, never.
Yeah, they're bad. And that's what it seemed like. It was like he was just a human version of the toxic Clemson message board and was just like, I'm going to call Dabo and tell him.
Get my licks in.
Exactly. And so whatever, he got his 5 minutes of fame.
He did.
And we'll all move past it, I'm sure. But it was an interesting storyline last night when all of that happened on the coach's show. Not anything, the coach's show.
On the old throwback Monday night coach.
That's right.
That used to be when everybody did it.
Yeah.
And now they're all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
All week long. But no, that was a lot of fun last night. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, will join us. We got to talk about that win over North Texas on Saturday, the upcoming home game against USF this weekend. But we also have to get Dave's thoughts on the Tigers basketball team's first exhibition game against Lane College. He was there calling the game on the radio, so I'm curious what he saw. I listened to him do the entire game, but I'm curious what he saw in that first exhibition against Lane College. So we'll talk to him at 3:30. 3:45, we'll get to the World Series as we had Game 3 last night. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville will join us to talk college football. At 4:30, we'll get to what we're certain of in college football and the NFL after another week of games. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant will join us to talk some NFL. The trade deadline is here. Trade deadline day today in the NFL, so we'll get his thoughts on all of the trades that happened today. We'll also get to everything that happened this weekend in the NFL. We'll do that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Overstock sale going on right now, and Family Leisure needs your help to clear out overstock inventory. Select patio sets up to 50% off. Play gyms under $2,000. Extended sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Winter pool closing items are now up to 30% off. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off their in-stock items. Family Leisure also has saunas, massage chairs, arcades, and theater seating with all free delivery, and that special financing is still available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
And one other thing that David Cobb has made a great point on today, he sent out a tweet. The Big 12 newcomers, did you see that today?
No, I didn't.
Big 12 newcomers, combined record this year?
Oh, it's awful.
3-17.
Yeah, I've been
the Big 12.
I've been keeping up with a lot of those teams, and Brett, if you remember, my bingo card about a month ago was that they were all going to get humbled in Big 12 play, and they are.
You sure did, and the grass is not always greener, and David's tweet was basically, to pay more assistant ADs and more associate athletic directors and more quality control people, is this really worth it? And when I turn on Little Rock Talk Radio and I hear caller after caller saying they wish Arkansas would get in the Big 12, a lot of people are realizing these weight classes,
oh yeah,
it's not as green as it looks. And so for Tiger fans, so frustrated, so mad about how conference realignment has kind of wallered out, it's not always as good as it appears on the other side. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com, the one and only Lexus dealership in town. Great offers on all 2023 models and always special leasing options. Call them at 901-334-9673. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is the NFL trade deadline. It's deadline day in the NFL, and we've had some big moves
James Harden was traded.
And James Harden was traded on deadline day, and I'm sure we'll get to that a little bit later.
New tight end for the Seattle Seahawks.
Brett traded at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m. local time in Philadelphia. So a wild night for the 76ers. But no, in the NFL, it's trade deadline day. The 49ers add defensive end Chase Young from the Commanders for a 2024 third-round pick.
What is that?
Josh,
what's that going to translate into?
Who knows? But I guess
left guard,
clearing house, trying to restart everything.
Magic Johnson shaking it up.
Yeah, he sure is. Josh Dobbs looks like he'll be the starter moving forward for the Vikings after that injury to Kirk Cousins. The Bears added Montez Sweat, another defensive end from the Commanders that they've shipped out for a second-round pick.
Somebody needs to tell the Bears, don't they?
Hey Bears, you're not playing for anything this year.
It's been over.
It's been over. The Jaguars added some offensive line depth with Ezra Cleveland from the Vikings for a sixth-round pick in this upcoming draft. And one of the biggest stories going into this trade deadline was, would the Patriots do anything with Mac Jones? We've seen that hasn't worked out so far. We've heard the reports from New England, but it was reported earlier today that New England did not get one call inquiring about Mac Jones and his availability for the trade deadline. So looks like Mac Jones will stay with the Patriots, but those were kind of the biggest trades of the day, and it was a very eventful morning.
My top story, Texas goes up 2-1 in the World Series. They can win it all in Phoenix if they keep this record of not losing on the road going. Got 2 more in Phoenix. They win those. That'll be 11-0 on the road in this postseason, already sitting at 9-0. They can win it 4-1 or head back to Texas, potentially for their first title ever or more pain. Maybe more than 2011 at this point. If Arizona comes back, it may be more pain than 2011. Feels like this one's going 6 or 7, but teams that go up 2-1, they're around 68% all time to go on and win the World Series.
Wow.
Not top story of the day.
That's impressive. I did not know that. My not top story of the day. We're going to try to group it all together with just the NBA. A very eventful last 24 hours in the NBA. The biggest news nationally is that James Harden has finally been traded to the Clippers, the team he's wanted to be a part of ever since the end of the season last year. He's from LA, and for good reason, wants to be back there. But, Brett, we've seen just this past offseason players wanting to go to a specific place. Dame Lillard wanting to go to Miami, being very vocal about wanting to go to Miami.
The way you're thinking.
And they say, no, you're going to Milwaukee. But James Harden gets to go to the Clippers, back to his hometown. The entire haul, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum.
I like what the Sixers got back.
KJ Martin, a 2026 and 2028 first-rounders, and 2 second-rounders, and a pick swap. So a lot back to the 76ers for James Harden. Also P.J. Tucker in there. Nobody's talking about P.J. Tucker included in the trade because this is all
playoff
about
time, his defense I might talk about.
Yeah, but other than that, this is James Harden going to this star-led Clippers team. What will this look like as a group? What will that starting lineup look like for the Clippers? Will be interesting. Also here locally, the Grizzlies dropped their fourth straight game, their fourth game of the season to the Mavs, 125-110. There was no stopping Luka last night. I mean, it was the Luka show at FedEx Forum. 35 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists while shooting 50% from both the field and from three. But you did see a good game from Desmond, a really good game from Jaren and Marcus Smart. So those were positives, but a fourth loss to start
Grizzlies
the season.
freak out factor. 10 is run for your lives. 0 is 0. Where are you?
4.
I'm at 1.
I was about to say, you're not anything.
Not at all.
That's good.
78 games to go, right?
A ton of the season left, Brad.
Yeah. And I think I'll sing that for a while. My not top story, James Harden got his way. He's bombed his way out of another place where he didn't win anything, just not squat, to the newest nirvana now in L.A., his hometown with the Clippers. 14th year, 5th team, NBA payroll, every dime he's earned, every cent he's earned it.
Yep.
$350 million. He's played in a grand total of 5 NBA Finals game. He's won 1, as in 1. We don't even get to 2. 1. He's won 1. 62 points scored in NBA Finals games. I think he can help them.
Sure.
But also it could be illustrative and a peek into the future of what could happen here. What happens one of these days when Ja and Jaren want to blow their way out of here?
Ooh, it's a good question. It's going to be fun not fun, but it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that going forward. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk Tigers with Dave Woloshin.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
If you haven't experienced Genesis Diamonds yet, your moment has arrived. Next weekend, November 10th through 12th, Genesis is putting everything on sale. Save 20, 30, even 35%. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, engagement rings. World-class designers will be here too, showcasing fashion jewelry never seen here before. All on sale. Luxury pre-owned Rolex watches and all lab-grown diamonds are also included. Don't miss this spectacular store-wide sale. Next weekend, November 10th, 11th, and 12th at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. See store for details.
O'Reilly. It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars. Outlaws.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500, G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 15137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Let's welcome longtime voice of the Tigers and host of Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Dave Woloshin to talk Tigers football and basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Dave Woloshin joins us now, the voice of the Tigers, to talk Tiger football and Tiger basketball. But Dave, let's start with that game in Denton, Texas against North Texas on Saturday. A scary game, especially late in that second half, but a win's a win. What'd you make of that game in Denton?
Well, I've been around a lot of these where, it didn't go that way. It went the other way, where you somehow figured out a way to lose the game. And it did kind of look it was going that way. But you'll take a W. I hate to go back to the old cliche that coaches love to use that was like repopularized by my good buddy Josh Pastner, but it's hard to win out there.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I heard a bunch of coaches say that, especially when you're on the road.
One stinking game is hard.
Yeah, fans expect. It's a new thing, I think. I really believe this in the last 20 to 25 years. Certainly, well after I started doing talk radio in 1983. Where style points count a whole lot more. Maybe that's the old BCS culture.
It's
where
the
you had
money.
to look good doing it. I really don't know. But it never used to be, how did you win? It was a W or an L.
So true, Dave.
And now people are angry because Memphis had a 24-point lead in that game. They're angry because Memphis was up 17 with 11:59 to go in there. They do play 60 minutes. And almost gave the game away. And then they come back with one of the great all-time 30-second drives you're ever going to see. The best possession receiver I think we've had in a couple of years since maybe Ryan Ross Kelly. And that's Kobe Drake. He makes a great catch to start it. Anthony Lamphere, the tight end, number 82. 3 weeks ago, they were hardly using any tight ends in passes. I asked Tim Cramsey. I said, what's going on? He goes, look, we got too many good receivers that I know I like using tight ends, but I really like my receivers. Somebody has to get the ball. Somebody's got to be a blocker. And then, of course, what happens 2 weeks later? He uses two tight ends. They both catch touchdowns. But Anthony Lamphere, who's the starting tight end, goes full-out dive, extension, gets his feet down inbounds to pick up a first down. Like, where did that come from? And then the play that Ryan Ross Kelly would have not Ryan Ross Kelly, the play that Joseph Skates would have won the game with 12 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier that he dropped in the end zone. Tim Cramsey goes back to that same play. The receiver cuts over the middle. The safety gets fooled, wide open, touchdown, and the Tigers win the game. And then people are mad. Some people are mad, well, now we're stuck with this coach. I mean, this stuff is crazy. The guy has been a coach here 8 years, 4 as an assistant, 4 as a head coach. Every year, a team that has Memphis on its name that he's been involved with has gone to a bowl. I don't know about the rest of these fans, but I remember the 30-year drought when Tommy West finally turned that around. I don't know about these fans, but I remember the Larry Porter years where, if you won 2 games and had 1,000 people in attendance, it was a blessing. This is crazy, the upset of 10 straight bowl years, 8 of them with this guy as a part of the coaching staff. It just boggles my mind.
And David, I agree with every utterance out of your mouth, everything, including the great invocation of Ryan Ross Kelly, who had the big catch down at Ole Miss for the first Tiger win ever in Oxford on a day that driving down there, we almost got blown away. And by the end of the game, it was 25 degrees. What a wild day in 1994 that was. And Dave, now you've got people advocating, imploring others, don't go, almost a boycott, a sit out. Don't go to the South Florida game. And look what that would deprive you of. You would deprive you of potentially of seeing a 7th win. Again, back to you in the historical chronology. That was something we used to dream of, to get to 7 wins. And 7 wins with 3 left, that the Tigers will be favored in every single one of them. It also would deprive you of seeing a coach that's just a few games away from moving into being the 5th winningest Tiger coach ever with 3 more wins. He ties. Chuck Stobart would move past him, and he's only getting started. And it also would deprive you of seeing Seth Hennigan, who now trails Danny Wimprine for second all time by about 1,100 yards. He's going to do that the rest of this year. So don't go and see that, and don't go see statistically the second best quarterback in program history.
Yeah, right. And by the way, he could come back next year too. Mm-hmm. And this is being done in an era where people are buying players away from schools that are in the Memphis level.
He could start at 4 places next year in the SEC, and haven't even thought about it hard.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And Memphis is paying him. Let's not fool ourselves on that. I don't know what
that's the cost of doing business now. Yeah,
right, but. I think SEC starting quarterbacks go at about $1 million, don't they? Be hard for Memphis to match that.
600 to $1 million, yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. I don't know really what the angst is with Ryan. Some of these fans have, but he's a gentleman, and he's won. If he was not winning, I could get somebody I heard on Eli and Greg this morning talking about, what has he done against teams with winning programs? And, he's got 3 bowl wins, right? Doesn't he? I think he does. So there's 3 winning teams right there.
He beat State.
He's the bottom line is he can only play the teams that'll play him. And then sometimes things get turned around and, he should have had Missouri here. Had he had Missouri here, I think the Tigers might have won that game.
Sure could have.
Play there. And, the only 2 losses he's had this year, a 1-score game against Missouri on the road and then against a darn good Tulane team that is good. They're both right. And they could have won that game, but they didn't.
And, Dave, what it has done to the defenders, now it makes every week that referendum. He's got to win Saturday against USF or it cuts the legs out of us.
Well, I'm really getting tired of all that, too. I mean, if we don't win the game, we're not getting into the Power 5. That's just ridiculous. You can't have that kind of pressure, and you can't make it a referendum every week, or we don't have 30,000 people. You know what? I know, Brett, you're used to seeing a pretty full, 70,000 on a regular basis that comes to Ole Miss. We know that it's even better than that in Knoxville. It's better than that in Tuscaloosa. But I when Missouri's not playing well, when Vandy's not playing well, are they getting 100,000 every game? No. If you look at the American, which is the conference Memphis plays in right now, where teams rely on only their fans, Memphis has a base, let's be honest, somewhere between 25 and 30. That, I think, is pretty good in this day and age.
Yeah.
I don't think they have to be ashamed of that.
I don't either.
I think I would bet, I don't really know, I'm just speaking out loud, but I would bet that's in the 50 percentile of all of college football, including all the Power Five.
Yeah, I think percentage of capacity is the main thing. We've always known, for football and for basketball, we're going to get to basketball, Brian, I promise, right here. For football and for basketball, the Tigers have a lot of seats to sell that nobody else, or very few else around the country have, and almost no one else in this league. Brian, I know you want to get some basketball licks in.
Yeah, Dave, I'm just curious. I know you were at that exhibition game. I wasn't able to make it there, but I listened to most all of the game in your call in that exhibition game. What stood out to you in that first game against Lane?
Just the length, the bigness, the togetherness that this team has. Now, let's not go crazy because I could.
Yeah.
But it's Lane College.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the tallest player was listed at 6'6". Okay?
Wow.
So that means probably 6'4.5", right? But let me just say this. First half, Memphis, with all these new pieces, and they played everybody except their starting point guard who didn't play the whole game, and J.J. Taylor, who Penny called their most talented freshman. So they played 12 guys, right?
Yeah.
They had 25 fast break points. You know how many turnovers they had? With all these new pieces, all these guys learning a new system, trying to go fast, they had 4 turnovers.
Wow.
25 fast break points, 4 turnovers. Everybody played. That's, incredible.
That's hard to do against air, just in drills.
Yeah. So I look at that, and I look at the depth, and my gosh, if we really did get DeAndre Williams, which Penny kind of thinks we're going to. Not many other people at the school do. I have my eyes wide open, and I'm skeptical about it. But if they were to get DeAndre Williams, man, I mean, this would be as deep a team as Memphis has ever had, and maybe as good a team as Memphis has ever had. And I'm even, I don't know if anybody's as good as Derrick Rose or is going to be an All-American like CDR. So that's hard to say. But that 2008 team was so special. But it would be the second-best team since then.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And with that, Dave, and the next time we talk to you on Tuesday afternoon, the Tigers will be 1-0. They will. They will have defeated Jack State.
Yep.
In fact, Brian, we're going to do W's and L's on Wednesday because we're all going to have Jackson State. So we'll do it next Wednesday. But, Dave, for that 13-game non-conference, and Coach Hardaway, and I thought it was him being Penny Hardaway's, he's candid. You ask him a question, he will give you an answer. And he gave the answer to Jason Munns, and Jason knows how to ask the right question so very well also. But he asked him, and he basically said that non-conference portion of the schedule, the first 13, it's everything. What do you think they'll go in that 13, and what is we know 13-0 or 12-1 or 11-2 would just be sensational, and that would correlate to an incredible seed. But how low can they go? What's the Mendoza line?
Well, some of these teams, like how good is Michigan? Is Howard, Juwan Howard, going to be able to coach? He's got a heart condition now. We hear.
I'm calling the Bahamas just go 2-1, some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Okay, I would take that right now.
Okay,
honestly, with that field.
So that leaves 10
in there. I think you can lose if you go 10-3. That'd be pretty good.
I'm with you. I did my W's and L's today, and I'm at 9-4.
9-4 would be okay. You can live with that. It depends on the 9 wins. Right?
That's right.
And what happens after those 9? What those 9 W's that you've got? What did they do after that? Right? That's also critical.
You want them to be super team. Here's the deal. Yeah. I've got wins over both Clemson and Virginia. The Tigers need Clemson and Virginia to be in the top 5 in the ACC after that.
That's pretty good. Look, if Memphis can get anywhere from a 6 up as a seed, I think you can do whatever you need to.
Look out.
I think you can do whatever you need to. And here's Penny was pretty honest. I was slapping him on the back for being so generous to Lemoyne Owen and to Lane College and to Andre Turner and the new coach at BTW that he knows very well at Lemoyne that went to BTW, Antonio Harris. He thinks that's the perfect guy for this job, by the way, and will do much better than even Bonzi Wells did. And they won 18 games last year. Not this year. They're in a rebuild mode. But he said he has to rethink what he's doing because he knows emphasis will, from here on out, unless they get a Power 5 conference, it's going to be on the non-conference. He's going to try to schedule as hard as he can, and so he thinks that from now on he's only going to do one exhibition game, rotate it between Lemoyne, CBU, and Lane, and play a super secret scrimmage game because he thinks that prepares you better.
Yeah.
So I think he's got to go this way. It's harder and harder to do that if you're going to rebuild your team every year, which that's the way things are going.
And you know who that first super secret big name, who I suspect it'll be?
Tell me who.
Kentucky.
Ooh.
Well, you know what? That's probably the only way John would play it.
Yeah.
Because that way nobody really knows what happens. That stuff leaks out, but it doesn't matter. It's an exhibition.
Ole Miss lost by 4 to Houston in the super secret. I can tell you.
That. You know, John would love that because John is a mad experimenter. It's like going to the lab for him in these things. They'll do situational stuff before the game. They'll experiment before the game, and then they'll play, the 30, 40 minutes or whatever they agree upon of scrimmage.
That's who it'll be.
I think that's a good call. I don't dispute that.
Yeah, no, I don't even. That'd be fun if we get to see some reports of a secret scrimmage between those two teams. But like Brett said earlier, Dave, next time we talk to you, hopefully we'll be talking about another Tiger football win, and Penny Hardaway will have the first game of the season under his belt.
Let's all be madder than hell.
Oh, yeah, that's what will happen. But, Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Memphis could go to the Fiesta Bowl and people will be angry.
Well, find something to be mad at.
Talk to you tomorrow, Dave. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it, buddy.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Man.
See you.
Dave Woloshin joining us, the voice of the Tigers, to talk Tiger football and now Tiger basketball. Brett, I'm so excited. Next time we talk to him, we'll have one regular season game in the books for the Tigers, so that will be a ton of fun. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little baseball. We'll talk about what's been going on in the World Series. That's next on Sports Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Coletti's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletti's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletti's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletti's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletti's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletti's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletti's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE $678,6055, MSRP $21,610, Nero P $501,7859, MSRP $41,090, EV6 P $501,7859, MSRP $49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS $229 a month, $29.99 due at signing. I've got got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 due at signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And Brett, we were supposed to talk baseball here, but we'll get back to that around 5:30 during What's Trending, because we have had, during our conversation with Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, we have gotten a couple of text messages regarding Ryan Silverfield and the job he has done this year. I'll read two that really stand out to me. This is from Doug. Why does Willow keep referring to Silverfield as a winner? I don't consider 6-6 season winning. Let's stop trying to settle. That is from Doug. And then the second.
If you've seen the entirety of his career, as I said, he's 3 games from passing Chuck Stobart to move into 5th all-time winningest coach at Memphis. I'm going to try to look up his career record, but it's more than 500.
Yeah, and then the next text message we have, I just want him to compete for a championship in the American Athletic Conference. We have not under him. So
he's competing now for one.
Yeah, I mean, right there in the mix for one.
Ryan Silverfield's 27-18 in his career at Memphis.
Wow. It's this is, I did not think this was going to be the topic that it is this far into the season, but it has become kind of one of the biggest topics in Memphis is Silverfield, and you have really the fan base seems split on half of it is I'm fine with Silverfield, I think he's doing a fine job, and the other half is we need to fire him, we need to get rid of him.
And it's not big enough to be split. on anything.
No, it's not.
It's not big enough to fight amongst one another over it.
No.
Now, as far as winning a conference championship, the Tigers have played in one AAC championship game ever. Is that right? Just one?
Yes.
In 2019?
No, two. Because they played UCF in one down
right.
in Florida.
That's correct. They played in two. Won one, lost one.
Yeah.
At that 2019 AAC championship game, after a incompleted pass right before halftime, the fans that were there booed the ever-living you-know-what out of Brady White that day.
Yeah, I was there. I was in the press box, and it was loud.
It was stunning.
It was loud.
And don't tell me, it was aggravation at the coaching staff, because if it was, that was aggravation at St. Norvell.
Yeah, it's Norvell right before you left for Florida State. So, I mean, that's some sort of guy to a coach to be booing, because see what he's doing with Florida State right now,
It was
Brett?
directed at the all-time statistical leading quarterback in program history.
A guy that's still around the program helping the team out. So, great guy. But that Brady White is. But it's interesting. I didn't think it was going to be this big of a hot topic, but it's turned into one, and I'm sure it's not going away anytime soon.
Sweeney, liner out. Tyler.
Memphis. But no, it is interesting. Keep those texts coming. I do love all of the texts one way or another, whether you're for or against Ryan Silverfield. I love hearing what the fan base thinks right now.
And really mature. Sit out Saturday. Don't go support a team going for its 7th win.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what that crowd looks like on Saturday. But like I say, keep them coming in. I love hearing from them. Last one I'll read as we go out to break. Reggie just sent in, the sports media is entitled to their opinion of Ryan, and the fans are too. We will see who is right at the end of the year. Go Tigers. We'll see when the year ends. But let's go ahead and get to a break, wrap up this hour. When we come back, we'll talk some college football with Brent Beard.
Memphis football is home Saturday, November 4th at 2 o'clock for homecoming against South Florida. Enjoy the pregame concert, mechanical bull riding, and Tiger tailgate on Tiger Lane before the game. Tickets start at just $20 as Memphis football continues to work toward a berth in the American Championship game. Be at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Saturday, November 4th at 2. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
Cooling or heating system on the fritz? Dripping faucet? Call the pros at Conway Services today and we'll waive the service call fee with any HVAC or plumbing repair. Expert technicians available 7 days a week. Call 384-3511 to schedule your appointment. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
If you want a deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, because we've got Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days still going strong. If you're looking to save up to $12,000 off a new ride, we Gossett covered. Right now, take your pick. 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit 4-wheel drive or 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $12,000 off MSRP. And 2023 Wagoneer L Series 111 4x4, $10,000 off MSRP. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Wagoneer PS5 64-158, MSRP 117,430. Cherokee P88 76 88.9, MSRP 80,205. Gladiator PL 509 834, MSRP 68,815. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
If you like using debit over credit, don't you think it's time to also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases. Plus, you're not charged any account fees, period. Whether you're starting a new job or retiring from one, Discover Cashback Debit is for everyone. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank member FDIC.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Despite a couple of EMS calls, we're looking good right now coming out of Midtown over here on I-40 in both directions up by Chelsea as it starts to increase going southbound on 240 from Union down to Norris. It's looking good right now on 240 as you hop on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us now from First Coast News down in Jacksonville, Florida, to talk some college football. And Brent, I want to start with you, where me and Brett started today talking about Dabo Swinney, kind of the sound clip that has made its way around the country. But more importantly, another loss for Clemson over the weekend to NC State. What'd you make of that loss? They're now 4-4 on the season, and then what Dabo said last night in response to a caller on his weekly radio show.
Yeah, they just don't have the players right now they need to have. I mean, I thought they would really upgrade this offense, but that really just hasn't happened. They've got Notre Dame this weekend.
So it wasn't DJU's fault, huh?
No, it wasn't. He was blamed for a lot of things, but certainly wasn't with this one either. But, I mean, 4 regular season losses, but that's a lot of losses, unfortunately, for Clemson. Now, look, he deserves to right the ship. It's taken them from virtually,
out of business,
being anonymous, frankly, to now being, or before the last 2 years, one of the better teams anywhere. I understand why he went off on this fan. You're seeing a little bit more of this now than you used to. Coaches were really stoic over the years for most of the time, and you're seeing a lot of coaches, particularly when they're at the podium after the game, that they had something stuck in their craw and they want to get it out. So, but I think where fans go over the line is when they look. There's a reason why this guy's paid the money he is. It just is a market value and what he's done over the years. So there's frustration certainly on both sides of this. But in some ways, I don't think he took it too far. If he went on with the rant, he may have. But it's just, I think some of this is under the times. We're seeing more of this right now.
Did you see our buddy Phil Kornblatt this morning at his availability? He asked everybody, Dabo approached the dais or where he was. He said, how's everybody doing? What's everybody going as tonight for Halloween? And Phil and our buddy Phil said, I'm going as Tyler.
Oh, that's funny.
That is. And Dabo laughed along with everybody else.
I'm sure.
Brent, I defended him and I ridiculed him.
Sure did. Played both sides.
I took absolute both sides. I like Dabo Swinney a lot. I love what he's done at Clemson. There was a little to me that not one of the times he beat Alabama that I didn't mind it because I like him so much and I knew his whole story. The part I didn't like was the how dare you talk to me like this and who are you when he went with the affectation of the caller's name. Yeah. Well, that makes some sense too. And they're all so insulated. They're all really so shielded from real contact with real people that they just can't believe it when the rabble, the minions, us, deign to ask them a question. Well, and I think part of this, too, doesn't this go with the job? If you've got that much money and you've got this kind of job, there are times when you make more in a week than most people make in a year sitting in that stadium. Easily. And look. But they don't have to be a punching bag. I can take every side of this. Right. Yeah, I can, too. I agree with that. So it's a... I mean, it's a fine line with this thing. I get that, but I also, but if you're making $10 million a year, you should have a thicker hide. Have to answer questions. You should. Does Clemson go to a ball game, Brent? They're 4-4. They have Notre Dame at home, Georgia Tech at home, North Carolina at home, and at South Carolina in the state championship game. Yeah. They'll win 6, and they may not have much
Welcome
of a
to
bowl.
The Pinochle Bowl.
Really? Yeah. So, but yeah, I think they probably will. And listen, that boy, when they get down to Clemson, South Carolina, one of those teams are really going to need a win, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Sure are.
Well, Brent, I mean, we hear from Tyler from wherever he was from last night. I mean, if Clemson finishes the season 6-6 and needed that if we get to the point where they needed that win against South Carolina just to get 6-6, I mean, what is that fan base like at the end of this season?
A bunch of Tylers.
That's right.
Yeah, multiple Tylers at that point. But I mean, look, it would. I was listening to a talk show on the way home a few minutes ago, and their comment was, well, sometimes you just have a bad season. Well, you do, but it's usually the other guy having a bad season. When you get an elite program like Clemson, or what was an elite program like Clemson, that they have a bad year, well, that's rough. And in trying to explain that to fans, but I mean, in the SEC, we've got an Arkansas team who could go 0-8. We've got a unfortunately, probably a typical Vanderbilt team right now. We've got a A&M team that is they could go off the rails still. So there's a lot coming.
This Saturday, Memphis plays host to South Florida. South Florida's highlight of their year is probably the 17-3, very competitive loss to Alabama. Should Memphis be on upset alert against South Florida, favored 13.5 over USF?
Yeah, I think that's fair to be on upset alert. I mean, right now, man, from week to week, you just really don't know what is going on and how some of these teams are going to respond. I mean, it's like...
I think Tulane better look out at East Carolina.
They better. Look, this is like when Gene Stallings was asked about a certain series, and whoever asked the question said, "Does it really matter?" And Gene's answer that rings true today was, "Well, you try to lose one of those games, and you'll see how much it matters."
He was playing Bowling Green, and he said, "This game only matters if we lose."
Wow. Yep, and that's where a lot of these programs are.
And when Gene Stallings spoke, we listened, didn't we, Brent?
Oh yeah, yeah. And look, I will still say to this day, if Gene Stallings had put more emphasis on the offense, he would have probably had another national championship before he retired.
Yeah, but you know, he trusted Mal so much, and he didn't want to undercut him. He wanted to let his coaches coach, and he was so close with Mal from previous coaching stops and with the Arizona Cardinals, the Phoenix Cardinals. He was gonna let him coach.
Yeah, he shut down in the fourth quarter that passing attack in the first SEC championship game against Florida in that like 24-23 thing in '94, where they had Philip Doyle was kicking them for about 80 yards in the dome at that point. I think the people will always wonder if he had not gotten so conservative in the fourth quarter and opened it up a little bit, got within the field goal range, and they may not have won that game.
Brent, I was there. It was Michael Proctor. Dole was the kicker right before that for Bama. And you're right. Pre-game, I mean, he's standing on the 50 and making it look like he was hitting wedges.
He really was, wasn't he? And I was there too, and it was.
I think we were close to each other, and that's when we were at midfield, not up in the catacombs.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes. So those are things that will make you always wonder.
Yeah, I lost a good Walkman that day in defeat, 24-23.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I've been a terrible loser my whole life.
Would Bryant know what a Walkman was, Brett?
I had to explain it to him.
I know of a Walkman. I've never used a Walkman.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah, really. Yeah, let's move subjects. But Brent, I'm curious to you. The big game over the weekend, Georgia and Florida. What'd you make of that performance by Georgia in their first game without Brock Bowers?
Brent was there.
Yeah.
In the press box, Florida makes a great drive to start the game. There's a little bit of hope it may be competitive, and then Florida makes some bizarre play calling at times. Look, when you're playing a team like Georgia, you really can't. It's hard to go east and west on them. You just got to go north and south. The fourth down play really puzzled a lot of people. You remember when the quarterback runs up to the line and they hack it between his legs. They thought they could catch Georgia off guard. They couldn't. It was 10-7 then, Georgia. If Florida got a few first downs, they made it interesting. But I think the bottom line was, again, Napier really does need to get some of the pressure off himself and get an offensive coordinator for next year. Also, special teams coordinator. Again, they got a punt block.
That's a lot of coordinators.
Oh, yeah. But guys, the other thing is you see in a game like that where Kirby's been recruiting for basically 10 years, and then you've got Napier who's been recruiting for, a year and a half or something of that ilk, and there's such a discrepancy between those two teams in terms of talent. And Georgia just more the physical team overall. And look, Florida is going to have a rough time, guys. This Arkansas game is paramount for them this weekend to win that game in order to go to a bowl. But then my stars, at that point, you've got LSU, you've got Missouri and Florida State. Who has got a trio of any games like that?
Yeah, that's very difficult, and Arkansas is as desperate as any team in the league because it's really rough and tumble on Sam Pittman. I had to quit listening to dipping into Arkansas talk radio. It's just way too toxic.
I bet it is. I don't doubt that a bit. I mean, I still want to think.
And very personally insulting to Sam Pittman.
Yeah, well, see, that is where a lot lot of this stuff gets, and I guess it's like anything, it's probably people talking about their preacher or their lawyer, their dentist, or whoever it might be, much less their football coach, and I think that's, going back to the Dabo thing, since that's the theme of the day, when it gets to the point of being really personal, that's when people get in trouble if they're fans or whoever it is, and I think that's kind of what's going on. I really thought Pittman was a great fit for Arkansas, and I still hope it works out. But a lot of people are having their doubts right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking to Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville. Well, Brent, tonight we get our first unveil of the college football playoff rankings, and
I'm prepared to be outraged.
Yeah,
Brent.
everyone is. Brent, how close do you keep an eye on the first rankings that come out on October 31st, and what do you think it will look like tonight?
Probably something akin to, I mean, I've seen several ones. The latest one I've seen was the top 5 being Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State. I've heard some people say Florida State may be number 2, Washington, and Georgia. I mean, that is pretty interesting, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
Georgia number 1 in the other polls, and if they go down that far. But I will say, it would be probably an indictment by the committee on Georgia's schedule.
Mm-hmm. And it's a beauty one's a beauty contest, and the other one is actually real football.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other one is the one that really matters. I mean, it's also interesting that I've seen Alabama at 7 and Texas at 9. When Texas
wait a second, I know they played.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, I don't know. And there's the one I'm looking at now has got Ole Miss at 11.
And we'll know tonight. I thought you were going to say you were going to take it with all the seriousness of watching a special edition of the Beverly Hillbillies on MeTV.
Well, I do like MeTV.
I do too.
Unfortunately, right now, I had to get rid of Comcast and get something else because of where I'm living, and I don't get MeTV right now. But I guess look, it'll have some interest. I can do without the outrage because if teams keep winning, that they'll be fine at some point. But I mean, I guess you've got to start somewhere. But again, I'm always focusing ahead here in the excitement that's going to come up with this thing for next year when we're looking at that top 12.
I might join in on the outrage this time next year.
Well, but to me, the increased interest, I mean, realistically right now, we've got, maybe 10 teams?
We called it, yesterday, Bryant? 12, 13?
Yeah, I think 11, 12, something like that.
10's good enough number, yeah.
Yeah. 10 teams who are interested at this time next year, we'll have 20 to 25.
Boy, that'll really bring the outrage.
Man.
I mean, that'll be extra layers of outrage. Brent Beard visiting with us from down in Jacksonville. In all your years of covering and knowing and being a part of the cocktail party, when it was the sustained Florida dominance and now it's sustained Georgia dominance, which one handles the domination as the dominating team the better? Who's the better winner when it's going their way?
Well, when they really were ahead in the game, Florida had Spurrier. And, Spurrier could be
he was not the most gracious winner.
He could needle you or it could be scorched earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it just really depended. I would, now, as far as fan bases are concerned, they go with it, like for Spurrier, you've got Ray Goff and guys like that, and after a while, the fan bases just basically decided, okay, this is our lot in life for right now. And unfortunately, that's kind of where Gator fans are at this point. They knew they would lose. They knew it really wasn't going to be close. So they are I'm not saying they've surrendered guys, but they at this point they know there's not a whole lot they can do about it.
They're not close in the same tier with Georgia right now.
No, no. Look, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that roster. Let me say it like this: you probably got Florida's, and I say this with a lot of teams, Florida's top 25 are pretty good. But boy, where Georgia really has the advantage,
number 45.
Yeah, it's 25 through 50.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever elite team you're talking about, that's usually the case.
Yeah. Big game this weekend down in Tuscaloosa between LSU and Alabama. Brett has talked a lot about this LSU team, I should say, of kind of the talk around this LSU team after that Ole Miss win has been much better than the talk around this Ole Miss team that continues to roll.
Give it 2 more weeks, I'm going to be convinced LSU won.
Yeah, but a big game for LSU.
I know I was there, and I know I haven't taken a serious head injury.
Well, not that we know of, I guess.
So.
But a big game for LSU nonetheless this weekend in Tuscaloosa.
If you see me drinking coffee, you know something's wrong.
That's a good. I tried to get you to do it earlier, but you wouldn't budge. What do you make of this game this weekend in Tuscaloosa, Brent?
Oh, it's huge for both these teams. I remember being in the game in 2011, and I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah, that was the topper.
It was. And look, even in pregame warm-ups, it was like they were playing. I mean, it's like they were competing against each other. Mm-hmm. The fans were in the warm-ups. It is. I mean, if Jane Daniels and LSU wins, that will probably be a Heisman moment for him. If Alabama wins, they will likely win out and go to Atlanta. And it would be one of easily Gene Stallings, Nick Saban, who, by the way, happy birthday, Nick.
72.
With it being today at 72. I hope I'm that fit and trim at 72 and have my mind right.
Just get me to 72. I'll take it
absolutely.
about any way I can get it.
Yeah. Yes. But I think this is a deal where Alabama can certainly take advantage of the LSU secondary and frankly their defense, but I don't think Bama can win a straight out shootout.
So it's got to stay in the 20s for Bama to win?
Well, no, I'm not necessarily saying that, but it's
can't get in the 40s.
What they probably not. What they can't.
I don't think Milroe can be that consistent either.
No, he can't. What they can't do is what they did against Tennessee. Is if they get behind LSU 14 or 17,
they're in scramble mode.
And they've got to chase points all night. That'll be a long game for them.
Do you trust Lane Kiffin will have a better November this November than he did last November?
There is something that help me on this. There's something I can't quite put my finger on, that they are just better than they were. I mean, obviously, Jackson Dart played well. Does that make sense, Brett?
Mm-hmm. I believe that. I see that. I feel it. I don't think it's his most talented team. I think the 2021 team, and not just Matt Corral and Jackson Dart, but even on defense, Sam Williams, Chance Campbell, others, I thought it was more talented. I'm not so sure last year at this time I didn't think it was more talented than this year. This is the best job Lane Kiffin has done at Ole Miss.
Yeah. And look, there's something about the mental aspect of the game that sometimes we don't understand or can't quite figure out. But this team is played extremely well. I think folks, and I mean they still got time to do it. But I think this team is different than the one that I'm not saying they gave up. I'm just saying that the losses mushroomed and snowballed into the point where it got to their mental process also, and they just weren't who they were by the end of the year. I'm not so sure. And look, there are a lot of people in the media who think Ole Miss could give Georgia more problems than maybe anybody else.
Got to beat A&M for me to to sign up for that. Beat A&M, I'm right there with you. Lose to A&M, I think going to Athens will be tough.
Yeah, and the thing with A&M is it's just that front seven on defense.
It's beautiful.
And just having to deal with them and protect Dart in the midst of that.
Yeah, well, it should be a fun game this weekend between Ole Miss and Texas A&M. It should be a fun weekend of college football. But
my nerves are already bad for Saturday. I'm in pregame mode, Brent.
And it's an early one for you, Brent.
Yeah,
I mean, it's bright and early.
I'll be shivering. It'll make it sound like I'm scared.
well, and listen, we're actually getting some cooler weather down here, thank God.
Boy, breaking news. Man bites dog, cold in Jacksonville.
Let me tell you something. Anytime, it's going to be in the 40s Thursday morning. Here, that should be a state holiday, frankly.
I broke out the electric blanket Sunday night, Brent.
I bet. Just and look, when you go through 7 months of summer, like we do down here every year, those 5 months of cooler weather are just a godsend. They really are.
Really, really quick, 30 seconds, Brent. Cocktail party when they're remodeling the stadium. Will it be Atlanta and then a Florida site?
They said something this weekend about it being about having it at a professional stadium. So does that mean Atlanta? Does that mean
Tampa?
Maybe, or Tampa. Now anything can change at any time. But that was what was different that was said about this.
But not
over
campus.
The last few days.
But not Athens, Gainesville.
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that they were going to Gainesville or Athens. I think if they can keep it away from there, they would not have to deal with that trend. This will be an easy transition. We'll keep it the way it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Brent, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
Good. Always enjoy it, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Brent. Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville, joining us every single Tuesday afternoon to talk some college football. But let's go ahead and get to a break, because when we come back, we've got to talk about what we're certain of in both college football and the NFL after another week of action. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you're watching the Tigers play, or whatever team you support, you always look for the end result, the winning score. And when you're thinking of selling your home, the ultimate goal line is the closing table. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. Getting your home sold for what you want and when you want it makes everyone happy. You should talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers when you're thinking of selling your home, and make sure I'm one of them, especially if you want results. Most people have heard that when you want the job done, you need to call Shell Done. Call or email me today and find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option. You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten. Call today at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. And go Tigers!
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting a spread bet together with the over for my parlays, and anytime player touchdown always has me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, Mid-South, you looking for a new ride that'll save you some big bucks? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. A new ride that boosts 41 mpg highway and 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $229 a month, $29.99 to its signing. How about 2023 Nero EV Wind SUV? 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 to its signing. And 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. Get up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 to its signing. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase. All 36-month leases and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE $678, $6055, MSRP $21,610, Nero P5017859, MSRP $41,090, EV6 P5017859, MSRP $49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit dealer stock only.
If you haven't experienced Genesis Diamonds yet, your moment has arrived. Next weekend, November 10th through 12th, Genesis is putting everything on sale. Save 20, 30, even 35%. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, engagement rings. World-class designers will be here too, showcasing fashion jewelry never seen here before. All on sale. Luxury pre-owned Rolex watches and all lab-grown diamonds are also included. Don't miss this spectacular store-wide sale. Next weekend, November 10th, 11th, and 12th at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. See store for details.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. The traffic volume has picked up just a bit the last few minutes on 55 southbound across the bridge over from West Memphis. Not bad right now on 240 east from Mill Branch out to 385 Billmores Parkway. Please watch for those kids tonight out trick-or-treating. Traffic still looking good right now on 240 as you get off onto 385. If you get hurt in a car crash, call 901 Attorneys right here in the Memphis area. Check them out online, 901attorneys.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
All right, Brett, another week in the books in both college football and the NFL. So we got to talk about what we are certain of after another week of action. Why don't you kick us off? Where do you want to start?
I'm going to start in college, and I'm going to start with Ole Miss. I'm certain Jackson Dart has had a great year so far this year. But I'm also certain of this. If he wants to join the Ole Miss lineup of all-time greats, the Mannings, Chad Kelly, Matt Corral, he's got to be great this month. He's got to be great in November. So far, he's been really good and competes at a high level. Extraordinary youngster, really nice people that his family. But to enter that gilded group of Mannings, Chad Kelly, Matt Corral, he's got to do it this month.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been talking all season about this month of November for this Ole Miss football team, and you're right. We've talked both on air and off air about Jackson Dart and the improvements he's made. He's looked really good, but you're right.
The Pantheon, the House of Gods.
Oh, I love it. He's got to have a great month this month to join that group. I'll tell you something I'm certain of. Duke is not the same team when Riley Leonard is not 100%. Brett, we didn't even mention it yesterday when we were talking college football. Duke, the number 20th ranked team in the country, the team that took Florida State just a week ago all the way to the fourth quarter, a team that beat Clemson in the first week on national television, did not score a single point against Louisville. Now, Louisville, a really good team. That's why they're, top 20 team in the country. But Duke not scoring a single point. This is not the same team when Riley Leonard's banged up, and we've seen that time and time again this year.
I'm certain the expectations at the University of Memphis have gone up exponentially, and that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, Burley Bowl or Pasadena Bowl or anything like that anymore. That's a really good thing. I waited forever to see that happen here. I used to say on these airwaves, I want to see it get to a good level to see what this reaction would be. It'd be a lot more fun. I didn't think it would be this reaction, though. I didn't think it would get to 6-2 and that not be enough. And Dave mentioned his good friend, and he was much closer to him than I, but also was friendly with Josh Pastner. This is starting to smack of that. This is starting to remind me of that. And in the end, Josh left the defenders with nothing to stand on.
Right.
And this Saturday, this game is referendum now week to week because as bellicose as I've been and defending as others have been, we have nothing to stand on if it's a 38-37 loss.
Yeah.
And sadly, with a 38-3 win, I don't think we can convince the other side.
No, it'll be hard. Another thing I'm certain of, Brett, Colorado State doesn't care who you are. They'll do whatever they need to do to get an advantage on the field. Brett, I don't know if you saw this in all of the action going on Saturday. Colorado State was hosting Air Force, an Air Force team that has been really good in the snow. In the Colorado State student section, was hurling snowballs at the Air Force offense. The Air Force offense that will be serving our country, Brett.
Penalized, weren't they?
They were penalized, and eventually
What do you think I just check out on the weekends?
I know you're busy with Ole Miss, and I don't know all these games going on. I didn't see it. I was just reading about it and saw the replays because I wasn't watching Air Force and Colorado State. But it got so bad that people within the program and in the university had to push the student section back so that they would not throw snowballs.
Did they do that because they were doing it to the opponent or because they represent our country and they go to the Air Force?
Oh, because they're the opponent.
Okay, then fine.
Yeah.
But just like I don't think there should be exceptions to, you don't run it up on Army.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, if they can't defend themselves and they're not very good, I don't think they should be treated, like they're a charity case.
No, absolutely
Now, if
not.
Colorado State's administration doesn't want stuff hurled at, what's the rest of their opponents? At
who knows?
UNLV.
Boise State.
Cool. And we don't want to treat it, but, how dare you treat – no, just don't treat anyone like that.
Hilarious. That was the funniest story of the weekend, that they were penalized and then had to be pushed back into the stadium so they would stop hurling snowballs at the opponent.
Did they just have a snowball fight among themselves?
It sounds like it. I don't know.
One time in 85, Baylor and LSU played here in the Liberty Bowl.
Okay.
And, again, you always get in trouble being too stereotypical.
Sure.
But the Baylor fans would not be provoked by the LSU fans. So the LSU fans just fought among themselves because Baylor wouldn't fight with them.
That's awesome. That's great.
I am certain of this, and we talked about it way earlier, the Michigan story, the analyst story, the spying.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well now. No. In the defense of Michigan, I am starting to wane with that. Mm-hmm. I'm not being left a whole lot to stand on.
No.
And now they are almost certain he was going in disguised, trying to be incognito. You can't do any – I'm certain now everything is taped, and you can be caught doing almost anything out if it's untoward.
Oh, yeah.
You're being watched, and I don't mind that. If you're not doing anything wrong, okay, fine.
Whatever.
And outside of businesses, we have a big sign up. You're being videoed. Sure. When you walk up here, everybody should just know that. And they didn't think that out very good at Michigan, and it's not going to end well.
No, it is not.
But I don't think they should not be allowed to play in the playoffs.
Right. No, I'm certain that this story has gotten 10 times worse than it was the first day it was reported.
Really feels like Harbaugh is going to say, out of here, and like Pete Carroll did at USC. let the successor deal with all of it.
Yeah, that's what's, and I don't blame him. I really don't. But this is bad. Those pictures of Stallions on the sidelines of Central Michigan decked out in CMU gear, and I was
Stage
hearing,
name?
Maybe, I don't know. But you heard the stories last night from people within the Central Michigan program trying to defend themselves. And I heard one story that said that the story that they had heard was that he had been given sideline passes, field passes by CMU, and that he was not supposed to be anywhere near the team and just kind of snuck his way over next to the coordinators. So I don't necessarily buy that story, but either way, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I don't care how it happened. It is insane.
It is, and he was in places he shouldn't have been.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna go over to the NFL. What I'm certain of is Will Levis had a debut to remember for the Tennessee Titans, a 28-23 win.
I'm certain we've seen the end of Ryan Tannehill.
I'm certain of that too. 4 touchdowns, 238 yards for the rookies in the Oilers gear, the sweet Oilers gear. But Brett, what I'll say about Tannehill, I need to see Will Levis do it in a Titans uniform. It's okay doing it in the Oilers uniform. I got to see him do it in a Titans uniform before I buy in.
And tapping into that,
then do it on the road.
The Oiler look wearing number 8. I can remember Archie Manning wearing 8 for the Houston Oilers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
throwback.
And it didn't look as good on the field as Sunday looked for Will Levis. I am certain in every aspect of sport, coaching matters. Mm-hmm. And the shining example of coaching mattering in the NFL, that how much it does matter, is what Doug Peterson's done with Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville right now, I think they will be in the AFC Championship game.
Wow.
Either Jacksonville versus Miami or Kansas City.
Wow. Well, and we mentioned the trade deadline. They added an offensive lineman earlier today, add some depth to that O-line, which is definitely huge for them. Something else I'm certain the Bears season is over. I'm certain there's a lot of question marks around the quarterback position, but I think, I'm going to switch it up here a little bit, Brett. I think this Tyson Bagent fellow has something. I don't know what it is. He looks good back there. He's got the build of a quarterback.
Didn't we talk about his background in the arm wrestling championship for his dad back around the draft?
Sure did, because it was my favorite story going into the draft. Sure did. I brought it up.
Man, I know
for something.
About the baddest man in West Virginia seems like his dad.
Man, it sure does. I mean, I don't want to cause problems with him or his family.
And I bet there's some bad folks in West Virginia.
I can assure you there's some bad folks in West Virginia.
In some of those tough towns. I'm certain he won't get the appreciation now, even with injury. But the year that Kirk Cousins was having, the career Kirk Cousins has enjoyed, he's not going to get the appreciation. I don't know why and how he got almost crafted as the punching bag, but he did. Now he's out. Maybe he'll be appreciated in his absence.
Yeah, I think he will. Last thing for me, 2 things I'm certain of, both coming from the Monday Night Football game last night. I am certain that the Lions have something with Jahmyr Gibbs. His first 100-plus yard game on the ground, 152 yards, 1 touchdown for 26 carries.
I'm certain I need more evidence.
Oh, I'm sold on him, Brett. I was sold week 1.
Last week.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. But I think I'm certain they've got something in there with him. Just needs some time maybe still to get acclimated to the game. I'm also certain we've got some issues in Vegas with between the quarterback and the wide receivers. Jimmy Garoppolo yesterday, only 1 receiver had 2 completions. You had Josh
Al
Jacobs
Davis that wouldn't recognize that franchise.
Oh, it's incredible. Josh Jacobs, the running back, had 2 receptions. Tight end Austin Hooper had 2 receptions.
Adams had how many?
1.
1.
And
of course, showed out on the sideline.
Oh, of course. Hunter Renfrow, the only listed wide receiver that had 2 receptions for the Raiders yesterday. Every other receiver, including Devontae Adams, the star receiver for the Raiders, had 1 reception for 11 yards, 7 targets.
You know why that reaction from Devontae Adams, don't you?
Why is that?
Because they just care so much.
That's right.
Every receiver, they care more than any nose guard.
Oh, yeah.
They care more than any linebacker.
They've got the heart,
so
Brett.
They have to show themselves.
One thing that nobody
on the
factors
sideline.
in for receivers, they have heart.
Yeah, they just care more than anybody else. I know who cares, and I know what I'm certain of. All the great locations for Jason's Deli, like Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. And I was at the location on Ridgeway Road today because with this cool snap, it's chili eating season for me. And I was at Jason's Deli and enjoying it. And it was packed inside, and all the great food that you can enjoy in one of these staples of all these locations of every Jason's Deli in this group is that great salad bar with over 30 items to choose from for you to prepare it however you would like. And a lot of events tonight. Not too late if you want to call. You can they'll still help you out for maybe an event you're having, whether it's at church or whatever group you're having tonight for a Halloween get together for the catering. Anytime, anywhere, no order too large, 5 or 5,000. That's how they do it, and they excel at same day and last minute. Okay, this may be really pushing the last minute for Jason's Deli, but I bet they could come through even tonight. Low delivery fees. Call the local deli for all the details. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing. Good and good for you, whether it's to dine in, to go, or delivery. All the meals for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And those great salads like the nutty mixed up salad, the chicken Caesar, the taco salad, and all the soups, the broccoli cheese, fire roasted tortilla, the Texas-style chili, that's beanless. They also have the Southwest chicken chili, spicy seafood gumbo. On a cold night like this, cooler night like this, stop by and get that on your way home. Take the cooking load off whoever was going to do the cooking preparation for you and yours at your house tonight. All at Jason's Deli, trans fat free food, plenty of organic food to choose from, and that complimentary free ice cream in all the locations like Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Let's get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
If you want a deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike because we've got Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days still going strong. If you're looking to save up to $12,000 off a new ride, we Gossett covered. Right now, take your pick. 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit 4-wheel drive or 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $12,000 off MSRP. And 2023 Wagoneer L Series 111 4x4, $10,000 off MSRP. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Wagoneer PS5 64,158, MSRP 117,430. Cherokee P88 76 889, MSRP 80,205. Gladiator PL 509 834, MSRP 68,815. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert for the best quality quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choates will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choates, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I think you should go first today.
Okay, be glad to.
Awesome.
My big number is 72, as in 72 years of age for the greatest college football coach ever. That's Coach Nick Saban,
Good one.
and arguably doing his best job in a long time. Now, I don't know if he should be Coach of the Year or anything like that, and I don't know that we should give too much credit for best job in a long time, because it's almost he's getting credit for putting out a fire that he potentially started, because every single one of these players were handpicked at the top of all the recruiting lists.
Sure.
So you can't feel like, he came in and inherited Toledo
Right.
like he once did. So
Right.
I don't want to overdo that, but he's doing a really good job. If he wins this Saturday, I think he could be in line for SEC Coach of the Year and maybe even National Coach of the Year.
Wow. That'd be something. That'd be crazy. How about this as well? I learned this from John Harden earlier today. Not only is it Nick Saban's birthday, it is also Vanilla Ice's birthday. Ice baby. So
the first thing, when I walked in the building today, the first words I heard up and down the hallway, I heard John Harden. He didn't even know I was in the building. I heard him go, I really like that under tonight with Toledo.
Oh, yep. That's welcome to the what happens during breaks during John Harden's show. It's usually just things he sees on his phone, or I really like this bet tonight. So that's just another day in the life. My big number today, 0, a very small number for big number of the day. There have been 0 errors in the 2023 World Series. It's the first time
number.
ever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, first time ever. There's been 3 consecutive games in a single World Series without an error.
Really quickly played games, too.
Very quickly. Oh, last night, Brett, I left here at 7, picked a game started around 7:05 or so, picked up dinner, went home. By the time I was able to kind of get situated, fourth inning.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? How are we already in the 4th inning? So, you're absolutely right. And that part of that is the lack of errors. Very clean baseball for both these teams.
Since John will do more pop culture than I do, than we do, has he done anything on the character from Friends passing?
No, I don't think. Maybe we mentioned it. I don't think we've talked much about it.
All right, you know how little I know about the shows and keep up with it.
Right.
I don't know that I know that I'm not proud of this. I just don't know. So Saturday night in Oxford, a guy I know around the press box,
Sure.
and it's the only time I see him is during football season. We're friendly to each other. He came up to me. I'm going down the hallway, going to the restroom. He's coming from the restroom. I'm going to say at the end of the first quarter, And he comes up to me and he goes, my wife just texted me. And I could tell the look on his face. This is going to be really bad news.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Oh, yeah.
My wife just texted me, Matthew Perry's dead. I'm very sorry. I thought it might be somebody in the Oxford community.
Yeah.
I had
no idea who he was.
Clue.
Yeah,
well, I had no clue.
I've never watched Friends. I'm not a huge TV show guy, but I mean, I know at least for people my age, Friends is.
I thought it might be somebody I should know.
Well, Friends has a very cult-like following.
Was Friends the Yada Yada show? Is that where that came from?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I've never watched it.
I never watched the second.
I really don't know. But I do. Every friend I have is a Friends fan. One of Connor's friends that is really good family friends with us. I mean, like like in his shower, the shower thing.
Yeah. Door curtain.
Curtain. There you go. The shower curtain is like Friends theme.
It is.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's like the theme song, like all written out or something like that. So like very cult like following
Is that right?
for the show Friends. Absolutely.
The only character that I think I know was Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston
okay.
was in it. Yes,
Okay, good.
That's correct. That's the only person I know from it too. But yes, we were at a wedding
This
shower.
person came up to me. I'm not kidding you. With the most hang dog. He might have been a big fan.
Yeah.
The most hang dog look on his face. I knew bad news was coming.
Sure. Well, I mean, I was at a wedding shower when the news came out, and with it was one of Melinda's sorority sisters, and so it was a lot of girls and their boyfriends from her sorority, and we were all standing around.
I'm sorry for this person.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to sound insensitive.
Absolutely. But when that happened
know.
and that news came out, it was almost like a hush fell over all of her friends, and they were all like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that just happened. So yes, a very cult-like following for that show and those characters. I want to say I've talked about it. I feel like we talked about it, but I don't think we talked about it very much. Like I think we just touched on it during Hardenwood. But yes, very sad nonetheless. And I know a lot of fans out there really hated getting that news. But let's go ahead and wrap up this hour, get to a break. When we come back to start our third and final hour, we'll talk NFL with Bo Marchant.
Save up to $300 on a new energy-efficient tanked or tankless water heater from Conway Services. Upgrade your old, inefficient water heater with a new energy-efficient model. Or better yet, a tankless unit, so you're only heating the water you need and you never run out. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19688.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Shopping at DriveMax. DriveMax! DriveMax! You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax! I got approved!
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the Bag Boys.
What?
Bag Boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag Boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
If you haven't experienced Genesis Diamonds yet, your moment has arrived. Next weekend, November 10th through 12th, Genesis is putting everything on sale. Save 20, 30, even 35%. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, engagement rings. World-class designers will be here too, showcasing fashion jewelry never seen here before. All on sale. Luxury pre-owned Rolex watches and all lab-grown diamonds are also included. Don't miss this spectacular store-wide sale. Next weekend, November 10th, 11th, and 12th at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. See store for details.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of EMS calls out here in the last few minutes as it builds over here on 240 East from Mill Branch out to 385. Still positive right now as you travel south of Memphis on 55 sliding down through DeSoto County. I-40 is building westbound across the bridge. All that traffic for this time of the afternoon headed back over into West Memphis. Hey, if you get hurt in a car crash, call 901 Attorneys right here in Memphis. They're online. Check them out at 901attorneys.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joining us to talk the NFL, and a lot to get to. Trade deadline day, also another week in the book.
I think it is? Major League Baseball on trade deadline day?
I mean, good Lord, it's incredible. But, Bo, before we do any of that, I got to tell you, it's cold here in Memphis. Me and Brett are both very much against the cold.
That means it's under 50 here.
Yeah, it's like 46 right now. But what's the weather like up in Ohio right now?
Well, I'm like a husky, so I'm starting to find my element. It's like 45 degrees, so I'm
right in your wheelhouse.
It is. I'm starting to get the comments because I run with no shirt, and I'm getting what do you know? So no, I am finding my place. Trust me, I'm becoming very happy because I'm becoming a winter person. It's against the norm, but I've been waiting for this, actually.
And I lied. It's 51 here. It gave us a couple
being
of
a winter person will never be said about me.
No.
The day I can get to somewhere and I can wear shorts 300 days a year, and I'm not talking about in 45-degree weather like you without a shirt on, I'm going to get there. Bo, give us a running update. Give me the number of days and tell our listeners again just what an ultra-marathoner you are.
Well, I've been fortunate enough. I haven't missed a day of running. I run 3 miles a day every day since January 4th of 1998.
Good Lord.
So the birth of my kids, the death of family and friends, 3 times I've had COVID. I did something really bad to my knee about a month and a half ago. It popped, snapped. That was a scary one, guys. The next day, I wasn't sure if we'd be able to manage, but we got through it very slowly and kind of getting back to normal. Yesterday was actually kind of put the throttle down a little bit, but that said, it's football season, so I'm excited to talk about Week 8 and what a crazy weekend.
It was one, and in Pittsburgh, the team you cover very closely, you cover the whole league, but you cover the Steelers much closer than anyone else. Bo, we thought at the end of Ben it was because of that, and then we thought offensive line. They just can't get any answers on offense.
No, I was laughing. Will Levis, the rookie from Tennessee, has 4 touchdown passes in one game. The Steelers have 6 touchdown passes throughout the season, so that just shows you how in-depth the offense has been.
But they can't run it either. Najee has been very disappointing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They can point to Matt Canada, you can point to the O-line, you can point to Najee Harris.
Can't blame Randy Fichtner.
No, you cannot. And they're not good. Or at least what they're trying to do isn't successful. And it's been like this since last season. And it's hard. It really is hard to point a finger to one thing, because it is. It's 11 guys working in unison. It's a coach calling plays that they have to execute. But right now, even last week, watching them against Jacksonville, it's just an ugly product. And they've had their wins, but ugly wins. And it looked at one point, Jacksonville was up 6-0, 2 field goal attempts. They're going in the score again, or at least put more points on the board, another turnover, and the Steelers drive down the field. And we're in the press box laughing that as bad as they are been playing, they might actually take the lead of this game 7-6. Now, the Jaguars held them. And they set up for a Chris Boswell field goal, so it was 6-3. But eventually, the Jaguars pulled away. But it's just it's that type of football. I call it that bend but break type mentality. You can only do that for so long, and
it always
and
breaks.
Counting on big plays by your defense. That's not the way you're going to win football games. It's just too much to ask week in and week out, especially when the offense is so bad at getting points in the end zone.
Well, you mentioned Will Levis, and the day he had on Sunday was remarkable. And those sweet Oilers jerseys for the Titans, those were sweet. But what'd you make of that debut? I mean, an unbelievable debut for the rookie. And what do you see with this Titans team going forward? Is Will Levis the future?
Well, after that performance, Brian, I mean, it has to be. How happy were the Titans to say, hey, we're going to put this rookie in and see what he does. I mean, they took him in the second round out of Kentucky, so he looks fabulous. And I think another thing is, you got a guy in DeAndre Hopkins who's a superstar-type talent, and I just think to get him going is as critical as anything. You could add Malik Willis or Ryan Tannehill back there doing their thing, but one, they got Hopkins involved. And eventually, as they were able to push the ball down the field, Henry came alive. So it's a good sign for Tennessee. We know Vrabel's a heck of a coach. He's going to have that team prepared. They're a gritty football team. It's one game, but nonetheless, we've seen a lot of other quarterbacks. And look, put it this way. I mean, Jordan Love's been playing how long? How does he look? I mean, if you get it, you get it.
Right.
Justin Herbert got it. I mean, guys just get it. And, everybody's going to have bad days. The best, look at Patrick Mahomes this past weekend against the Broncos. I know the hands he wasn't feeling all that well, but nonetheless, Patrick Mahomes did not play well at all. But, hey, even the greatest have days where you kind of say, hey, you know what, this wasn't my best, but I'll get back at it next Sunday.
And, Bo, sometimes quarterbacks that we think have gotten it, then they don't have it anymore. And Bryant and I, and you as well, every week with us, we warned and we said hit the brakes a little bit on Brock Purdy mania. I didn't think Joe Montana or Steve Young or John Brody or maybe even Jeff Garcia should step aside in San Francisco. Heck, now it's looking like Steve Bono didn't need to step aside in San Francisco. How has this come such a cropper for Brock Purdy?
Well, I think one of the things, and this is, I think, goes to Kyle Shanahan, and I think he's fabulous. And but when you're not doing things well, that's when we have to critique you. That's what we do. When you're playing like the best team in football, which they were, 42-10 win over Dallas in week 5. they look like the team that would be, they would be in the Super Bowl and they would win the Super Bowl. Since then, they've lost 3 straight games. But I think the 49ers aren't built to come from behind. They're built to get ahead and stay on top of you. And I think it changes how Brock Purdy plays. I think it changes how the defense can get after the opponent. It just changes the whole mentality of what they're built on. I think Purdy has 5 interceptions within this 3-game losing streak. The previous 5 games he had 0. So, he's having his mistakes, and we're not going to write him off and say, they got to, look somewhere else. But turnovers are a big cause.
But he's throwing floaters. I mean, he's throwing hitting hope balls.
Well, because there's so much play action in Shanahan's offense, and now you kind of got to push the ball. You're out of your element. You're not doing the certain things that you're able to do normally as San Francisco's. They've been so dominant. I mean, each win. I don't know their scores, but I know their wins have been big against their opponents prior to this 3-game losing streak. So I just think it's the dynamic of how Shanahan's offense and defense is built and how they execute those. And when they're winning early, they can do that. I think when they get in a tight game, they fall behind. It's a whole different concept. And there's more to it than that. But I think that's just one of those little things where you're really kind of looking deeper to how that offense is built and what Shanahan does. And I think when they got to get vertical late and really change the dynamics of what they do best, they struggle. And we've seen that with the 3 losses. And credit the Bengals. I thought there was no way on earth the Bengals were going to go out to the West Coast and win that game. I could not imagine San Francisco losing 3 straight. But Burrow played fantastic. He looks about as healthy as he can be. And this really is Zach Taylor and the Cincinnati Bengals MO is HEL double hockey sticks to the first month of the season.
Yeah.
We'll start the year in October or November and go from there.
Bo, Brett knows that I have the Dallas Cowboys championship parade route already diagrammed in my binder. It's actually everything's bigger in Texas.
Impressive.
It's very extravagant.
And
it's
Brian
be
came in today dressed as a Texan.
Yeah, I'm dressed like a cowboy.
Looks
today.
like he came in from the oil fields in Midland.
Yeah, so we're all ready. I'm ready to crown the Cowboys again after that win over the weekend, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. But I understand that's not a great question. It's a question I'm sure you assumed I would ask. So I want to ask you about the Cowboys getting CeeDee Lamb more involved. When you look at these past 2 weeks, 12 receptions this past weekend for 158 yards, 7 receptions the week before for 117 yards. That is 2 out of the 3 times through 7 games he's recorded over 100 yards this season. What do you make of the Cowboys getting CeeDee Lamb more involved in the offense?
Well, they have to. And I think he had a big game against the Jets. I think he had another, 100-plus, 150-yard game against New York, and that was a big win. So, as they get him involved, he's the playmaker. I think he's the biggest playmaker absent of Tony Pollard on the field. So you got to get him involved. You got to get him involved in a lot. And we saw that they got out to an early lead, and it was just the Rams are a sneaky team, and we know Stafford got dinged up during the game. He wasn't 100%, but nonetheless, you still got to knock your opponent out. And the Cowboys were able to do that. A fantastic game by Dak Prescott. There's so much criticism surrounding him, and I don't think it might be not well deserved, but I think it's the question. And you're the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot on your plate. You're America's team. You're the quarterback of America's team. You're going to have to play really good all the time, or you're going to have some harsh criticism, surrounding
and heated overreaction,
yeah,
good and bad.
Yeah, and then that's part of it, but. Brian, to answer your question, they're sitting at 5-2, winners of the last 2. I think when they go to Philadelphia next week, I think next Tuesday we'll talk about should you crown your Dallas Cowboys.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, that's the test because they were embarrassed by the 49ers. I don't put a lot of stock in the Chargers. I don't put a lot of stock in the win against the Chargers, and then you have a win against the Rams, who they could finish with 9 wins, which would be very respectable, but I don't think anyone thinks, even if the Rams are a wild card team, that they're going to make a lot of noise. It's more of a favorable schedule down the stretch of their opponents. And that's just predicting, schedule prediction type stuff where you're thinking, well, they could beat the Giants, they could beat the Panthers, blah, blah, blah. But you got to line up, and look at some of the, this past weekend, again, some weird games, some weird endings, and, the football, it's fun to see this particular year. I mean, the 49ers look so good. Now they're 4-3. It's amazing to think that, you would have said, hey, who's going to have the number one seed hands down? And you would never have thunk that. But lo and behold, they're on a little bit of a slide.
And there's Pete Carroll at 5-2, and the drill they have down every year, they have it down when they have to go cross country to play a game, and they have to do it this week, a noon game in Baltimore. Out of that game will be somebody we can believe in, the winner of that game. If the Ravens win at home, okay, 7-2, Lamar, all that good stuff. But if Seattle comes cross country and pulls the upset, then I think you need to look out for Seattle this year.
Yeah, I mean, 9-8 last year. I mean, they made the playoffs, and credit Pete Carroll with Geno Smith having faith and foresight to believe in this kid and not do anything erratic in the draft or free agency wise to bring somebody in. They felt comfortable with him after they traded Russell Wilson, and again, another team where you look at this team, and I think this team can be better. They were active during the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. They acquired Leonard Williams, the defensive tackle from the Giants, who's had his ups and downs with New York. But, I mean, when he's on. And they've been craving D-line help for a long time. And Ujichi Oenzewe or whatever, I can't pronounce his name correctly, he went out on the IR. He was a big sack guy, so they're just plenishing that defense. I like the move, but we know Baltimore is playing great. Lamar Jackson's playing at MVP level. They pull that one out. That's a nice game to pull out.
Big time game with two big time coaches.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, traveling east and taking on Baltimore in that environment. You come back home to the West Coast with the victory. You can pat yourself on the back.
Happy charter.
Yes. You're definitely gonna. That's a flight where you're gonna not mind getting on the flight and enjoying the rest of the trip, celebrating with your teammates. But if not, it's a long flight home.
Talking to Bo Marchant. He joins us every week to talk the NFL. I'm curious your thoughts on the Monday Night Football game last night between the Lions and the Raiders. On one side, Detroit gets Jahmyr Gibbs going, his first 100-plus yard rushing game, 152 yards and a touchdown. On the other side, the Raiders only had one listed receiver with 2 receptions in yesterday's game. Every other receiver had only 1. Josh Jacobs had 2. Tight end Austin Hooper also had 2. What did you make both sides of this game last night?
Well, the Raiders are a bad football team. I didn't think they could get, Josh McDaniels. We've seen success. Bill Belichick Browns to the Patriots. Boom. Pete Carroll Patriots to the Seahawks. Boom. Great success. But it doesn't happen all the time. Adam Gase, Dolphins, Jets, never successful. And I think Josh McDaniels, Broncos, and now here in Las Vegas, I just don't think a head coach is what he is. He's a good play caller. He fits in New England. And when it's all said and done, I believe if Belichick's still in New England, he'll be back as the Patriots OC. It just seems like that's where he's destined to be. Just a bad performance by the Raiders all around. I actually thought last night might be the game where they really kick-started the season on Josh Jacobs. And we know he was a late guy that signed with the contract issues, but he led the league in rushing last year. He's been quiet all year, but I thought last night, prime time, just to send a message. We're going to play gritty, and nonetheless, you would have thought that by looking at the stats by the receivers, but that wasn't the case either. And then for the Lions, you beat up a bad team, but it goes back to a win against the Chiefs week 1. I get that. Then you lose to Seattle. You beat the Falcons. You beat the Packers. You beat the Panthers. You beat the Bucks. You get destroyed by the Ravens. And then you come home and you beat a bad Raiders team. So I know they're a good football team, but I don't think they're, you should beat the bad teams. But, and I'm leery, again, to just put them in the same category as the Cowboys, Eagles, 49ers, some of the upper echelon teams that we consider at this point. I'm still not putting all my marbles in that basket because they got to beat a good football team. And I'm not using the week 1 game. I mean, that's a lot of, the preseasons. There's really not a lot of repetitions in terms of the starters knowing what they're doing. So that's that's an opening night with not a lot of practice. So they won. But since then, I'm leery, especially, the loss to Seattle. I mean, if you look at the schedule, Seattle and the Ravens. I mean, those are probably the two best teams they've played, and they lost both of them.
Bo, I'm not going to do the research, but I'm going to hazard a guess that it's been a long time. The answer to my question is it's been a long time, and you're a part of it this weekend with the open dates for Denver, Detroit, San Francisco, and Jacksonville. So that's 4 teams that have the week off. The Thursday night game in Pittsburgh at Acrisure Stadium, where you'll be covering the Tennessee Titans at Pittsburgh. The Sunday night game that we're all settled into now with Buffalo at Cincinnati, and Monday Night Football, a staple for over 50 years. Only 10 Sunday afternoon NFL games. When was the last time we only had 20 teams playing from noon to 6 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon Central Time? It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know, but somebody would know that, and they have the statisticians and the ability to answer that question. It's kind of fun. The Thursday night game throws you off, especially if you have to cover it, because you're just thinking mindset of Sunday, and lo and behold.
Today's Friday for you, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
Today is like Friday for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's weird because I'll be in Pittsburgh Thursday for the Steelers, and then I'll be in Pittsburgh Saturday for Florida State.
And Bo, you've broken up on us. You've gotten in a bad cell. We can barely hear you.
Okay.
There
you
you
hear
go.
me now?
All good now, yeah.
Okay. All right.
You got out of your vehicle, didn't you?
No, I'm actually sitting at my kitchen table, and I haven't moved.
Wow.
Weird, wow.
You're literally moving an inch, didn't it?
Yeah, all I did was move my phone over like 3 inches to the right.
Well,
and you said
it.
you could hear me.
Hey, it goes a long way, doesn't
it?
Yeah, and then I got the Florida State Panthers game on Saturday, so I'll be there a couple times this week.
Oh, and we very rarely dive into college football with you except for scouting and analysis. What was Pat Narduzzi thinking just unloading on his team? That season's over for the Panthers.
Yeah, we talked about it at we talked about it in the cafeteria Saturday or Sunday during the Steelers game. We were, all the writers we were discussing that, and that's we call it like maybe a Narduzziism, where this kind of a, he kind of says some things sometimes, and if you know him, you could be like, how else could you take it? But it's in a weird way. It's I guess we're accustomed to it, but it's not that. I guess on the outside looking in, it does look very strange and very like, wow, what did that guy say? I think if you're around it enough, it's just a weird. It's not. I guess it's not that. I shouldn't say not that bad.
But
it's
his
just,
team's Twitter reaction to it, the quote tweeting of it, they crushed him.
Well, can I hate saying this publicly, but because we have to go down there and share the same parking lot with the Pitt players. The Pitt players are the most awful parkers. They probably waste. I even today, like I had to go find somewhere else to park, and it drives you nuts. There's at least, and it's such a cram little parking lot, but we miss. There's at least 4 parking spots that are completely obliterated because of a crooked.
Drives me crazy,
car.
Bo.
Guys, and you're just, and I always joke around. I'm like, if you can't park, then you can't understand a playbook either. So
I'm with you, Bo. And there's a lot of much bigger things in life that I would really, really sincerely like to see. I would love for some peace to come to our world in the Middle East and in Eastern Europe. I would love for any childhood cancer to be cured in the next 30 seconds at St. Jude downtown. Those are really big aspirational things. So before we get to those big things, here's 2 little bitty things out of life I want. Everybody park between the lines and roll your stinking cart back at Walmart.
I like it.
I feel on the, and I don't know how much time he goes, but real quick story because it's Halloween. I did a story on all the Steelers guys. I asked different guys, but I thought Nate Herberg, their offensive lineman, had a really fun story. I said, hey, what was your favorite costume that you wore growing up? He goes, well, it actually wasn't mine. He goes, it was my older brother. He bought a sumo suit, and then he said he took his pajama pants, Nate's pajama pants, and then he threw mustard on the chest of the sumo suit, and he said he went as Nate. He said he went as Nate Herberg.
That's great. That is awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah, I've just figured. When he told me that, I was just laughing, and I just figured that's just a fun story. It's Halloween, and a good Halloween story to share with the listeners.
That's a great story. Well, Bo, thanks so much. Happy Halloween to you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Hey, after that Eagles game, we're going to find out if it's trick or treat for them Cowboys.
Well, we will. And,
it's going to be a treat, I can already assure you.
And we know the reaction will be over the top either way.
Well, the one thing about him, even if the Cowboys lose 15-0, he's going to be very optimistic that they'll get him next time. So.
Always a glass half full approach, Bo. That's my way of life. We'll talk to you later, Bo.
That's a good way to live.
Have a great week.
Thanks, Bo.
Stay safe.
You got it.
Bo Marchant joining us every single Tuesday to talk the NFL. We didn't get to trade deadline with him. A lot to talk with him about. We'll do that next Tuesday when he joins us. Well, Brett mentioned earlier, I have worn my Halloween costume today. I'm dressed as a cowboy.
Looking good,
and
too.
Brett, I think it's a good look. I think it's going to start being my look, and I know where I need to go because I'm lacking one thing for this, and it's a pair of boots. But I know where I'm going.
We got this done by the end of the week.
Oh, I know where I'm going. I'm heading there. First opportunity I have, and you should too. That's Hewlett and Dunn Boot and Jean on the historic square in Collierville since 1961. Charles Hall, he started working there in his teens, and now with his wife Laura, they own the place known for all the boots, but also clothing, accessories, and a cap for any team in any season. Western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, even rubber boots. They have boots for absolutely every single occasion at Hewlett and Dunn, and from head to toe, they've got you covered with every brand imaginable, like Ariat, Dan Post, Anderson Bean, whether for men or women, they've got clothing like jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duck head collection that you'll find. Charles and Laurel, they invite you to 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville or to HewlettDunn.com. They've also got you covered for accessories too, like hats, sunglasses, boot care products, and every area team snapback and cool hat you can think of. Whether it be for the Tigers, Mississippi State, UT, Ole Miss, or the Razorbacks, they've got it. And for travel, the bag selection is absolutely top-notch. HewlettDunn.com, but please head out to Collierville, give Charles and Laura Hall a visit, and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville at Hewlett and Dunn. Well, we need to get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
From the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether it's date night, a birthday, or just because, raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris. Open in the Regalia Shopping Center at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. Treat yourself to one of our classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection. Then serve sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Visit Ruth'sChris.com to make a reservation. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Memphis. This is how celebrating more is done.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you could win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entry update in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
Hey, Mid-South, you looking for a new ride that'll save you some big bucks? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. A new ride that boosts 41 mpg highway and 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $229 a month, $29.99 to its signing. How about 2023 Nero EV Wind SUV? 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 to its signing. And 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. Get up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 to its signing. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase. All 36-month leases and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE $678, $6055, MSRP $21,610, Nero P5017859, MSRP $41,090, EV6 P5017859, MSRP $49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Sports 56 traffic.
So T-Dot's behind a stalled truck. It's over to the side, but there's some flashing lights in that area. 40 eastbound just past Danny Thomas. Traffic's on the increase already in the Midtown area. It's crowded over here on 240 as you get on to 385. That's really saturated right there on Bill Morris Parkway going outbound, passing Ridgeway, continuing out into Collierville. It's heavy over here, but it's moving fairly decent on 40 east from Sycamore View Road all the way out to Germantown Parkway. Hey, if you get hurt in a car crash, call 901 Attorneys right here in Memphis. They're online. Check them out, 901attorneys.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending in a couple different ways we could go here during this segment. But I want to start off with the James Harden trade. We talked a little bit about it earlier in the show, but what did you make of that trade? 1 o'clock in the morning, we all woke up to it bright and early this morning and already been completed for 4 or 5 hours.
I liked what Philadelphia got in return. And for somebody in the West, DeMichael Cole had a really good tweet today, the Grizzlies beat writer from the Commercial Appeal. Only one team's going to the NBA Finals from the West.
Yeah.
Only 2 are going to the Western Conference Finals. 2 big-time teams are going to be left out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody in the West with the go-for-it mentality, especially at the top, that 1, 2, 3, 4 that was starting a week ago tonight when the NBA played last Tuesday night. And we said, there's your Western Conference Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
And
now who knows? I mean, it has changed a lot. I was
probably more solidified today, a week later.
Yeah. I was looking at the Clippers depth chart, projected depth chart, now that the James Harden trade has gone through. This is over at ESPN. They've already updated it. They have the starting lineup going forward. Now, a couple of injuries here that could obviously change it, but with everybody healthy, your starters would be James Harden, Paul George, Terrence Mann, Kawhi Leonard, and Ivica Zubac at the 5.
I think hanging on to Mann was critical for them
Huge.
in the deal.
Huge. I mean, I saw a lot of people saying Clippers win this trade only because they were able to keep Terrence Mann, which a lot of people going into this thought that would be impossible to do for the Clippers.
I liked what Philly got back.
I do
but
too.
It's go for it time for the Clippers. I just don't think he or they will be there even in the Western Conference Finals.
No, you're right. A haul for the 76ers. I mean, got some really good players. Marcus Morris, I think, can still give you something. Robert Covington is one of those vets that you like having on your roster. Nicholas Batum can give you something. KJ Martin. But then you also get 2 first-round picks a couple years down the road, 2 second-rounders, and then a pick swap. So, I mean, you're getting a ton in return for James Harden.
You don't have to tell KJ Martin to let it fly.
Not at all. Not at all. So, no, I like this trade for both sides. But like you said, I do think Clippers maybe get a better grade here because they were able to hang on to Terrence Mann. Now, my question is, Russell Westbrook coming off the bench for this team, I don't know how happy he'll be coming off the bench. I know he's done it, but as maybe your role going forward coming off the bench, I don't know how much Russell Westbrook's going to go for that.
He has not accepted it well in the past, and time has marched on.
That's true. That's very true. But I think he's playing a little better this year than
3
he has
undefeateds,
yeah,
only 2 winless. And the Grizzlies are one of the 2.
With you know who the other winless team is.
And they expected to be.
And they have a former Grizzly on as one of their front runners on
Premier
their team.
Players.
Dylan Brooks and the Rockets. But yeah, you're right. They knew they were going to be they were kind of the start of the rebuild. No, we were not. And obviously injuries have something to do with it, but it's hard for a fan base. It's hard for any fan base to start the season with so much hope, so much excitement, and then lose the first 4 games of the season.
I'm not freaked out over it. Would I be at 0-7?
A little more. I mean,
probably not much more.
No, but it'd be a little more, I think.
Got out to 0-8, 9, 10.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's pull up the schedule.
I've got it. Utah tomorrow night. At Portland Friday. At Portland Sunday.
Okay.
0-7 could happen.
Oh,
I don't think a Portland sweep, but
I was about to say, Brett, if we're coming in after the weekend talking about being swept against Portland, I think then you hear a lot of talk going on.
Full-board freak?
I think it's getting close. That Portland team has not been good at all.
Week from tomorrow night, FedEx Forum against Miami.
Tough game.
That following Friday night, home against Utah.
Tough game.
And then a really
brutal
tough road trip at Clippers, at Lakers in Los Angeles, and at San Antonio.
Yeah. And then right after that, you have to come back the very next day for a game against Boston.
0-12 is full-board free.
Yeah, for sure.
Goes to 10?
Yeah, probably. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
You know what the answer will be at 0-12?
What's that?
Fire Ryan Silverfield. That'll do it.
That's exactly right. He's bringing down everybody.
Brian, at the top of the 4 o'clock hour when we were going to break, I'm sorry that I did, but I'd already taken my earbuds out because you were getting ready to throw to break, and you were reading a text, and I can't remember. Was it from Reggie?
Reggie, that's correct.
Would you read that again, please?
Sure.
Because I'm sorry both to Reggie and to you and to the listening audience. I had taken my earbuds out, and
fine.
I'd kind of checked out during the break. I'm
completely
sorry.
Completely fine.
It happens.
I just brought it up because it had just come in right when we were going off.
Please
and
reread that.
I wanted, we appreciate everybody for texting in. We definitely appreciate Reggie, so I wanted to.
You don't have to agree with us.
Yeah, to get his text out there because it was right in front of me. He also sent in another text message a couple minutes later, so I'll also read that. But this is the one that I said before we got to a break. Sports media is entitled to their opinion of Ryan, and the fans are too. We will see.
May I stop right
there?
Please. He could not be more right. We want that.
Absolutely.
Now, we're gonna advocate for our side too.
Absolutely.
Please
for sure.
Continue.
Let's see. So sports media is entitled to their opinion of Ryan, so are the fans. We will see who is right at the end of the year. Go Tigers.
That's just really reasonable.
It is.
I heard the end of it without the earbuds in, just through the glass,
through the window.
and I thought, what a really good text.
Yeah.
And then he said,
and then he also said this was at the top of the hour when we were talking to Brent, and we started that conversation talking about Clemson. And his text said, if Clemson fans are a bunch of doubters at 6-6, why can't Memphis fans be doubters for not winning the AAC?
I don't think it's entirely apples to apples, but I can understand that. Where Temple was ranked in the preseason for one doesn't correlate to where the Tigers were not picked to win the AAC in the preseason. Yeah. I think we're third or fourth. What were they?
Third.
Third.
I think fourth. I think they were right behind SMU.
So a little difference there.
Yeah, and
but
Clemson was ranked preseason.
And I don't want to be too preachy at fandom.
No, I think it's great that every year you're going in wanting to win the conference.
I've done some things in the name of fandom that sometimes could be hard to explain.
Sure.
So I don't want to, but to go after the coach, not that nice man was, not that texter was Reggie,
right?
But to see out there in the Twitter sphere and online. And I don't go looking for a lot of it, but you couldn't get away from it Sunday.
Absolutely not.
You really couldn't. And, well, I guess you could. You could just go full, put it up, and I eventually did.
Yeah.
But to almost have the boycott that I saw some advocating, and I mentioned, why do you want to do that in a game? If you win Saturday, you're 7-2. Yeah. All right, let's fast forward. Let's say win Saturday, 7-2.
All right.
Win on the road at Charlotte, 8-2.
Already booked that. I mean, good Lord.
One home game remaining. Possibly could be Seth Hennigan's last home game as a Memphis Tiger. A record-setting, certainly good performer as a Memphis Tiger. And the chance for that to pretty much seal a rematch with Tulane and the trip to New Orleans. Yeah. That's what you want to miss through all the years of heartbreak and agony and tough losses and still the conference realignment being slammed in your face. This is the point to de facto boycott?
It wouldn't be for me, but I don't know. I guess to each is their own.
I guess, but I'm going to say their own's dumb.
Yeah. And then when you look at it, I mean,
okay, boycott. I've had enough at 2-7, 2-8, 2-9.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the conference championship is still right there for the taking for the Tigers. I mean, you look at the top of the standings. Tulane right now, which they'll be ahead of you unless something just catastrophic happens down the stretch for Tulane. SMU, you play them at home later this season, and UTSA also in front of you, but they also play Tulane. If Tulane beats UTSA and the Tigers finish the season perfect, I'm pretty sure based on the tiebreaker, Memphis would be ahead of UTSA. If they beat SMU, they'll be ahead of SMU, and you would have a rematch with Tulane.
May I remind people that Tulane beat North Texas 35-28?
Yeah.
May I remind people Tulane beat UAB 35-23?
Brett not only beat them, had to come back to beat UAB.
So that's defending Cotton Bowl champs. Beat mighty USC something that I think we, as an extension of the University of Memphis, vis-a-vis the American Athletic Conference, took some pride in.
Oh, absolutely, Brett. We were doing cartwheels in here when Tulane beat USC.
So they play narrow games.
Yeah. And
I will remind people that the singular finest moment in this program's history, hosting and winning the AAC championship game, and with that win going on to the Cotton Bowl and playing mighty Penn State. Have people forgotten how they won the Tulsa game that year?
Oh, man. Don't remind me,
Wasn't
Brett.
that as freaky as Saturday?
I had like 3 heart attacks during that game.
And let's not make Tulsa into anything more than they are.
No, Brett, they were bad that
They
year.
were really
were
bad that
year.
year. So it gets nebulous. It gets threading the needle for a lot of people, for a lot of games. Auburn played in a national championship game because of the tip pass and the kick six.
Yep, it sure did. So, I mean,
I just don't understand, and certainly self-inflicted. Again, this is Tiger fans going in on the Tigers. This is not Mino Vol fans or Ole Miss fans or Louisville. This is Tiger fans in this kind of open pitch battle with itself.
Yeah.
And again, at lesser records than this, I could understand it. But to be this mad over winning, it's just one of the more astounding things. And I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. And then after Saturday, as the texter alluded to, it'll all play out.
It will. It will all play out.
And next Monday, I will be the punching bag of all time if it's after a loss to USF.
Sure. And you know, you'll take it. I mean, I know who you are. You will. And but hopefully we won't have to talk about that. Hopefully we'll be talking about a win.
I think that group is so dug in.
Yeah.
They're rooting to lose.
Oh, Brett. Oh, man. Oh, I hope that's not true. Oh, man. But, hey, it will all play out, and we'll see what happens. See what happens this weekend, and we'll see what happens as the year go on. But I just go back to the fact that the conference championship is still very much in play, and they are right there.
A little housekeeping for tomorrow. Sure. Have your grade book ready at 3:30.
All right.
Since October's in the books, we'll do grades for September and October. For teams up to now, we'll do that at 3:30. We'll have David Cohn tomorrow at 5, starting a run through the Final Four. Kevin Sweeney from College Basketball Central and Sports Illustrated with us every Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
Oh, I can't wait. Tomorrow's going to be a fun afternoon. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show. Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678-6055, MSRP 21,610, Nero P501-7859, MSRP 41,090, EV6 P501-7859, MSRP 49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $29.99 do-it signing. I've got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday, baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye. Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is the Memphis women's soccer team beat 8th-seeded UAB earlier this morning in the first round of the AAC Conference Championship. A 2-1 victory for the number 1 seed Memphis Tigers to start the day in the American. But they were trailing 1-0 for most of that game. They scored 2 goals late.
1-0, Brian.
1-0, excuse me. They were trailing 1-0 most of the game until 2 second-half goals put them up. The last one coming in the 88th minute, Brett.
Out of 90.
Out of
and
90, there you
extra
go.
Time.
And sometimes extra time. It's a little wonky
All
there
right,
late
I've tapped
in
out
soccer
soccer
games.
now.
Yeah, so a big win for the Tigers. They'll continue this run in the American on Thursday as they'll play Charlotte, I believe, 5th-seeded Charlotte in the next round Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock. That game also on ESPN+.
I learned that Dabo Swinney going off on Tyler the Caller on his Monday night weekly talk show, there was a lot of right and a lot of wrong in all of it. The litany of his accomplishments, right on. He was right.
Yeah.
He is right. But too bad if he thinks he can it can be that rough at Clemson if he ever wanted to have Mama called. If Bama ever calls, he better hang up. If he got that sensitive at Clemson, I don't think he can handle being Bama coach.
Yeah, no, it was rough stuff for sure for Dabo. What I could have done without, Brett, another year, another Louisville exhibition loss to a D2 opponent. Last year, it was Lenore Rhine. This year, Kentucky Wesleyan. Shout out Kentucky
The night of their
Wesleyan.
lives.
Oh, absolutely. My buddy plays football at Kentucky Wesleyan. I texted him after the game and was like, dude, this is
Mascot
insane.
is?
The Wildcats, I
Go
think.
Cats.
But he said that they were having the time of their life watching that game and supporting their friends they knew on the basketball
bet.
team. But this, it's looking scary for Kenny Payne in his time at Louisville. As a team, they shot 34% from the field, 26% from 3, and could not put Kentucky Wesleyan away.
If he gets fired,
71-68.
you know who should hire him as his number 1 assistant immediately?
Who's that?
Penny Hardaway.
Oh, I completely agree. This is a guy that has been an assistant at a lot of different places.
Great.
Just can't make it work at Louisville.
I could have done without this 0-4 start for the Grizzlies. Nobody had that in the preseason. First time since 2004. Luka was 9 of 10 last night against the Grizzlies. For the Grizzlies in 2004-2005, first year at FedEx Forum, they started 0-13.
Wow. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to the World Series.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to beam to some action tonight. I want both games. It looks like we've got snow in the forecast for both of them, so could be certainly a cold one, but could be a winter wonderland out there with all of the snow. But a ton of action tonight all over the place. Maction, MLB, you got some NBA as well, so it should be a really, really fun night. But enjoy the night. Happy Halloween. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
If you want a deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike because we've got Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days still going strong. If you're looking to save up to $1,200